Giants going in with a bunch of crazed dogs.
My camera. How about them Giants? How about them Giants? How about them Giants?
Woo! What's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of Giants Rush, where we talk Giants football. 50 weeks of the year. We have a podcast we love to hate, and I'm wearing black because it's a goddamn funeral is what it is. All right? And we're going to talk about, I have no stripes on my jersey, but we're going to talk a lot about them refs. We're going to talk about Shane Bowen, who supposedly is doing better, right? We're going to talk about a lot of things today. And I got Joker, and of course, I've got Ryan coming on. But let's start off the top, gentlemen. Thank you, rolling in. What's up, Brad? I see you guys hanging out as the Giants lose to the Eagles 38-20 in Philadelphia in what I would call the worst officiated game that I've seen in 50 years. The NFL rules are basically arbitrary depending on, who they're going to enforce these rules with and when. Can we say the Giants just lost? Yeah, of course we can. But after 72 hours ago, the NBA has an enormous scandal, which we never thought would happen at this magnitude. Kind of makes you think twice a little bit about 7 or 8 calls that got missed in the Giants game on Sunday. Sports betting, points shaving, all these things happen in the NBA. Why can't it happen across the hall in the NFL? You know why? Because it can. Because it can. And there's no reason for us not to believe there's something going on because the refs are laughing in our face. On the screen, laughing. What's up, Daniel? What's up, Brad? We're going to talk about the tush push, okay, which I've got some information there, did the research that in 2025, and Ryan could probably back me up on this, 2025, it only missed getting voted out by 2 votes. 2 votes. That is going to be removed in 2026, and they can't officiate it correctly. We're also going to do studs and duds, which was going to be probably very entertaining, right? With studs and duds. We might even add in a little bit of love, hate, what you love about the Giants, what you hate about the Giants. I got Christian producing today. Shout out to Mr. Cruz. And if you have questions, by the way, when we do our one last drive after Ryan bounces, we do one last drive. Ask the questions. We'll rock through them. Let's bring in, well, first of all, Christian, it's always good to be the king, right?
It's good to be the king.
Which allows me to say anything I want, right? But to keep me in line, as he always does, let's bring in Sean.
And here we go. You know me.
Where is he? Let's bring him in. Oh, there he is. What's up, dude?
What's going on, man?
2 votes, my friend. 2 votes in 2025, or the tush push went away. We wouldn't even have half the drama that we had if 2 owners would have said, yeah, get rid of it.
All because Jason Kelsey got up and made a speech and said, blah, 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 blah.
I know.
It's not I'll stand by this. It's not a football play. It's a rugby play. Get it out of the game.
Oh, interesting you say that. I'm trying to figure out how because according to the rules, which was confirmed by Mr. Jared Allen, Hall of Fame, said you are not allowed to illegally propel a man forward, pushing or pulling. So how is this play legal? I don't know. I don't know. Well, listen, you know who does know? Ryan Dunleavy
we're about to find out.
Because this cat knows everything. He's everywhere I look. It's awesome that he hangs out with us on Monday and he's the voice of
And we
reason.
got a treat he doesn't know about. We got a brand new intro for him.
We got a
Our
brand
man
new
Cruz
intro
did a
for
brand
my
new
guy
intro for him.
Ryan
So let's see
Dunleavy.
how he likes it. Let's see how
Let's
he
hit
likes
it.
it.
Hit it. There it is. And then let's bring him in so we can actually say something. There he is.
Oh,
Right.
I love it. I love the countdown clock. I love the graphics with my name right up until you see my big cue ball of a forehead. But I love it. Well done.
We look good. We're glad you like it. Like I said, it's always a pleasure to have you hanging out with us. And my friend, like as we get to know each other better, we're doing this every Monday. We got so much to cover. I don't even know where to begin. We are gonna stay with studs and duds because everybody actually loves studs and duds. We're gonna start there. But I hope you're ready to lock in, man, because I'm ready to tear some shit down. This is crazy. All right, I love it. Love it. Love it.
There we go.
Let's start. And by the way, let me give you a quick shout out. As I see you guys are piling in the room. Brad, Daniel, I see. Oh, wait, I'm not even sure I recognize that one. TP.
Oh, TP Way the Giant. He was on the I did the other night. I did a forum with him. He was one of the four. So TP Way the Giant, glad to see you tune in here. And remember, guys, as Craig said, I know some of you getting in now. Have your questions ready because when we do one last drive later on, questions. We're gonna answer questions, not comments. So have your questions ready, get them going. And when it comes to that time, we're gonna answer those questions.
Yep.
So there we go.
By the way, a little bit of AI, Ryan, and we could put hair on your head if you want. We could throw on like a mohawk if you want. We could give you long hair, whatever you want.
I always wanted really spiky hair and an earring, and my mom wouldn't let me do it. So
okay, all right. So there's a request, Christian. Do me.
No, I didn't say it was a request.
All right, wait a minute. Let's do this. We'll give them a couple different looks, and we'll let them pick one out.
There you go. There you go.
All right, let's start. Let's hit it with studs and duds. Every time I hear that, I miss Lawrence Taylor. Studs and duds, guys. We always do this at the top of the show, so we have a little fun before we get into the minutia of what happens with the Giants every Sunday. Studs and duds. Who's your stud? Who's your dud? It's debatable sometimes. I'm gonna start off with you, Sean. Like, who's your stud? Because it might be a little bit hard to find a true stud because this game lacked a lot of explosion from the Giants, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I know who you're going to go with, but I'd like to hear from you.
Well, I'm about to throw a curveball because I'm going to pick two. I'm going with two. And why am I picking two? Because I'm the Joker and I can do it. It's anarchy. Yeah, it's chaos. I don't follow rules. So I'm giving the stud to both Brian Burns and Cam Skattebo. Skattebo clearly because of the difference he was making in a game, but that is one tough son of a bitch. That dude had his ankle sideways, didn't cry, didn't even show any emotion really other than being pissed off. And he wanted to get up and have guys help him up off his feet. Like, that's one tough son of a bitch. Like, I can't, I mean, that's just crazy to me. So again, the impact he was making in the game, what he did there, like, that's just damn impressive. So I feel if anybody can come back and not be different from something like this, I feel like he can. Because again, it's one tough son of a bitch. And then Brian Burns, I know they took a sack away from him, but I felt like he had 2 sacks and he was impacting that game again. He's playing defensive player of the year level at this point. I mean, just the fire, the intensity all the time. Like, he's out there injured. He wasn't 100% and still being a game changer, a game wrecker. It's just unfortunate our entire other defense shit the bed minus Thibodeau. And our defensive coordinator is ass because it's really going to get overlooked of how good Brian Burns is right now. So there's my studs.
I like that because I'm about to eat crow and I want to make sure everybody knows it because I did it with Wandale. I've done it with before. Everyone knows I'm not the biggest Thibodeau fan, but he's getting my stud of the game. And he disappears, right? Sometimes on us. But when he shows up, he shows up. You know, the fact that when he was chasing down the quarterback out of the pocket and then dove out from behind and knocked that pass down, or the tush push play where he's cognizant enough to rip the ball, right? Rip the ball out of Hurts' hand. Those are above what I would call above the X's and O's. Right?
Exactly.
So I got to give Tibbs credit because I don't like when he disappears on me. Yeah, I know, Mark Thompson, you are shocked. But again, it's never about ability. It's just that when he doesn't show up, it makes me bonkers because he's got 1,000% more ability than I could ever dream of having. I want to see it all the time, right? So, yes, and I've got no problem saying that I do ride him pretty hard. Love the fact that he came to play. He's my stud, which leads me to Ryan Dunleavy from the New York Post, who's hanging out with us again. Who's your stud, Ryan? Give me something good.
It's Jackson Dart, guys. I mean, it's Jackson Dart. Let's not overthink this one. It's Jackson Dart. He is playing with a D-level offense, and he ends up 14 of 24 for 193 with Theo Johnson dropping a 30-yard pass with a 68-yard touchdown to Darius Slayton taken off the board by a terrible call. So that's another 80 yards, another touchdown. He's getting pummeled. Now, look, he holds the ball too long, like almost every rookie quarterback ever. He holds the ball too long. So some of these sacks, some of these hits, some of these pressures are not on the offensive line. I didn't think the offensive line had a good game yesterday, but some of them are on Dart and not on them. But he's holding the ball too long, not because he doesn't know what he's seeing like some quarterbacks. He's holding the ball too long because he's waiting for something to happen. He's waiting for these receivers to gain a lick of separation. So I think it's him. He got pounded. What's the old battery saying? He took a licking and kept on ticking. Yeah, that's what he did. He kept getting up from shot after shot, making play after play. Bulldozed across the 1 yard line there. He made that great 28-yard throw to Devin Singletary when it was still a 14-point game. They ended up settling for a field goal. I think that's kind of where it was lost. They needed 7 there. Dart, again, playing with Bo Collins and little Jordan Humphrey and, a banged up Illuminor yesterday and Tyrone Tracy instead of Skattebo. And he just kept going. So, to me, it wasn't his best game, but it was one of his more show me games, if that makes sense.
100%. I love that. I love that. And regardless of what happens, if anyone has any doubt that this is our quarterback, this dude balls. Now, I'm going to take all the credit for that because I tried to tell you guys 2 years ago that he was the guy, but it doesn't even matter. We can have fun with that stuff. The biggest thing is that we actually have to feel good. And me and Sean had this conversation. You guys all know Chris, one of our other podcast hosts. He was talking about, is it an indictment, guys, on Dable that Jones couldn't do it here? And I said, you know what? I don't think so, because Jones is a different type of quarterback. He's very vertical, point A, point B. He doesn't scan the field. He doesn't slide. Every time you see Jackson Dart sliding in the pocket, that's a sack for Jones. They're just different quarterbacks. And I'm not, and I don't hate Jones or love Jones, but whatever they do in Indianapolis works exactly what makes him tick well. The offense that Brian Dable runs works with Dart. There's a lot of improv happening there, right? We just don't have any skill set on the wide receiver without Neighbors, which we can also ding Shane for not preparing for that, which we'll get into. So those are all right. Jackson Dart, Kayvon Thibodeau, Burns / Skattebo. I'm going to start with you, Ryan, actually, on this one and go down the ladder. Who's your dud?
Well, are we doing a separate segment on the referees?
Yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, I'd give it to the referees.
Oh no, I'm trying to do everything possible not to make it about the referees, but go
All
ahead.
right. So if I could do the referees, I would, but I won't. So I'll take the split here and do Darius Muasau / Tyler Nubin because they held Saquon. This defense held Saquon Barkley to 58 rushing yards 2 weeks ago. 31 on the first 2 carries, so 27 over the rest of the game. And on his first touch yesterday, he had 65 yards. Why? Darius Muasau missed his key, then got sealed off. And then Tyler Nubin, for at least the 3rd time this season, looked like he had cinder blocks in his feet and just didn't have the speed. I mean, he just didn't have the speed to catch up. Like, that's a concern of mine. Like, he's supposed to be a ball hawk. He had a pass breakup on the very first play. Coming out of college, the thing with Tyler Nubin was he's going to always be around the ball. He's going to get PBUs. He's going to get interceptions. He's a good he's a physical guy. He could come up in the line of scrimmage. The only question is his speed. And like 24 games into his career, whatever it is, I haven't seen much of those pros come up, and I've seen at least 3 examples now where I'm like, this guy's speed is a problem.
Interesting too, because earlier today, Sean.
And let me be clear about something.
Yeah.
I think he's an awesome dude. Like, he is, as far as a second-year player, he's one of the best young leaders I've ever been around. Like,
it's good to hear.
Well, the Broncos game where Dart was beating himself up for, like, it's on me, that interception, it's on me. Like, Nubin pulled him aside in the locker room and quietly talked to him like, no, dude, this isn't on you. Like, we gave up 33 points as a defense. Like, this isn't on you. Like, Nubin is a captain in the making if he's a good enough player to be a captain in the making. Like, he's got all the right stuff. I just don't know. That speed is very concerning for me. Like, Deonte Banks isn't as good a player as Tyler Nubin, but Deonte Banks has at least the speed to catch up for his mistakes. Tyler Nubin makes a mistake, and I worry he's not going to catch up.
It's interesting, too, because, Ryan, we were talking earlier, Sean and I, because we were venting before the show, and I said, man, I don't – like, for this conversation, you know, Nubin can be the dud. I'm fine with that, right? But but Holland, and I hope he gets better soon, but neither of the safeties look good. And these are both were good players in college and good players in the pros. Like, there's something else missing, which goes back to Bowen and the crappy system, or something's going on.
I mean, how often are we going to blame the coaches on the? I mean, like, let's run Jerome Henderson out of here. He's the reason Deonte Banks stink. He's the reason Deonte Banks stinks. Jeff Burris and Marquand Manuel are going to fix him. No, Deonte Banks is still not any good. Like, it's kid. I was waiting to use this quote till later, but I'm already fired up and I'm going to use it. So
nice. Wait till he hears my dud.
This is what Kayvon said after the game, and it just stuck with me. He said, with football, it's like 80%. I actually thought of you guys when he said this. With football, it's like 80% mindset, 20% physical skill and ability. But at some point, mindset is not enough. You have to make plays, which is him telling you, like, you know, the coaches can do this and the leaders can do this, but at some point, some of the guys on the field have to do something.
You know, and I love that you brought it up because, you know, Sean's always in the coach's pocket. He likes the coaches when they're good and hates them when they're bad, which makes sense, right? So, like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, and to your point is, you're right. Nubin and Holland we're not having great years. And you think, like, well, they're good players, though. How did they just fall off a cliff? How do these guys get so bad all of a sudden?
I mean, I don't know if they're bad. They're just, you know, they're not having an impact. Like, that doesn't mean they won't be good again next year. They're still young guys. Nubin's in his 2nd year. He should be ascending. Holland's in his 5th year. He should be ascending. They're just not having a big impact. The guys around them, the situations they're in, whatever it is. I mean, we've seen guys. I mean, Xavier McKinney had an awesome year. What was it, his 2nd or 3rd year, and then didn't have a good year. Like, especially guys in the secondary. I feel like that's a position that's so often judged by how many interceptions or how many forced fumbles or whatever. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's been a quiet year for them because it's been a quiet year for the whole defense. I don't know.
But you
Maybe
don't
it
think
is.
at all maybe scheme comes into play?
Sure, I'm sure it has something to do with it. Sure.
Okay.
I'm just not going to blame it all on the coaches because like I
Oh,
said,
no.
there's like, yeah, I'm done with like changing through coaches and it's like, oh, this guy's going to get through to him. It's like, at some point you have to make a play. Like,
Yeah.
just,
No, that's why I would. That's
like, there's a reason Jeff Burris, and I'm making this, or Marquand Manuel, because I guess he's the head defensive backs coach. I'm making this number up. I have no idea. But there's a reason Marquand Manuel is making $200,000 a year, and Javon Holland's making $15 million a year.
Yeah.
It's Javon Holland has to make the play, not Marquand Manuel.
Yeah. No, I get it. Sean, who's your dud?
Well, to steal Ryan's line and get him even more fired up, let's not overthink this, guys. It's Shane Bowen. And here's why it is Shane Bowen. Because he stood at that podium last week and said, I got to be better. I got to do better. We got to be better, right? He comes out, first play of the game, he lines up Dexter Lawrence at nose. Pressure's in the backfield. The second play of the game, Dexter Lawrence is lined up in the B gap, away from play side. What happens? Saquon Barkley wins for, was his 56, 65 yards, whatever it was. We have four guys. Abdul Carter was not in the game on the second play of the game. Why is Abdul Carter not in the game? Why is he not starting? Why is he not on the field from play one? Explain that to me. Explain to me why our linebackers run up in the hole and attack a blocker and don't look at the ball carrier. They've been doing this for 2 years. I've paid close attention to this. Explain to me why our defensive line on that Tank Bigsby 2nd and 31 first down. By the way, there's been 2 plays this year where they've completed a 2nd and 30 or more, 2nd and 20, whatever. Both have been against the Giants. So again, you look at that run that Tank Bigsby had, our D-line literally is slanting away from the play. Their backs are to the running back, and there's a huge hole. And then players are going to miss tackles sometimes. Good running backs make miss tackles. But our scheme is atrocious. And here's the final point of why he's the dud of the game and why scheme matters. Jalen Hurts, they run man 50% of the time that they ran zone with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts throws 165 yards and 4 TDs against man. You want to know what he did against zone with the even amount and what they played in the previous game against Philly? He threw for 56 yards. He was 5 of 10 against zone. He was like 9 of 10 against man. Why are we playing man when we have, especially when Cordell Flott's out of the game? You know why we're playing man? Because Shane Bowen can only play man coverage when he blitzes. Apparently, he doesn't know how to do his own blitz. You have Corey Black, who is literally picked off of a practice squad, playing man coverage on a blitz. And he was in good coverage, but the play didn't happen. Why are you putting guys in that position? Why are Burns, Tibbs, Carter, and Lawrence not on the field the majority of the time together? How do you not figure it out? It took them finally till week 8 to finally put Tibbs at the end, Carter on the outside, and they blew up the line. So yes, I know scheme matters with some of these guys, because when you watch what they do and you watch those linebackers who literally run at the blocker, do not have their eyes on the running back, that's why it is. Now, do players share some responsibility? Absolutely. But when you watch 100%. What they do, that tells me, as a former player and as a former coach, that is what they're being taught to do. Because no intelligent football player is not going to pay attention to where the running back is and only look at the block. And again,
Sean,
Ryan, go back and look at that. I don't know if you remember that Tank Bigsby run. Go back and look.
I just watched it.
Did you see what that D-line's doing? They're literally slanting away. They're not even looking at the play.
Sure. Did you see the 2 linebackers run into each other when they could have tackled? When they could have tackled?
I did see that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
So
and there's another play.
So that tells you it's both, right? Like, would we be talking about the defensive line slanting the wrong way if they gained 12 yards and instead of tackling each other, they tackled Tank Bigsby? Probably, because then it'd be 3rd and 19, right? So we probably wouldn't be. But like, no, they tackled each other and he got 31, and now it's Shane Bowen's fault. So like, it's everybody's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to double down on your point too, Ryan, and see if you agree, or at least you'll entertain this, because here's what's been rubbing me wrong, and I'm going to steal a quote from Chris Rosa here. And Sean, I know you agree because we talked about it. It almost feels like Bowen's treating Abdul Carter like he's another dude. All right. So think about this. He's number one in the NFL or top 2, top 3 for pressures, right? He's evidently the top speed in getting to the quarterback, right? In the NFL, but he has no sacks or a half a sack. The guy is doing everything as a one-man commando to make the pressure and get in there. You would think Bowen would scheme him clean in some form or fashion. He's beating everyone else in the NFL to the quarterback and getting blocked. But now I'm not saying sacks are everything. What I'm just saying is that if he's impeded in his path to the quarterback, and he's still number one in those categories in pressures and speed to the quarterback, what would happen if you actually schemed him free? Or if you actually scheme the guy on a delay or a stunt? Like, why isn't he in on the second play of the game when Barkley goes for 56 yards? This is not another dude.
They seem to have developed a rotation. I don't. This is Dan Duggan from the Athletics wrote this. I hadn't noticed this. I think he said Carter sits out most of the first series, if not all the first series, and then Thibodeau sits out most of the second series. And I guess that's just one of the ways to get like everybody warm and into the game right away. And then after that, then it's a more play-by-play situational rotation. I get it. Like you can't play one of those 3 guys at defensive tackle or inside linebacker on every single play. So you just can't do it. You're playing. Then everybody would scream that they're playing out of position. So you can't do it. You can't play them on every single position, on every single play. I do agree. I would like to see those 4 guys on the field together more than whatever percentage it is. This percentage is not high enough.
My only pushback to the
Carter,
Ryan, and I hear what you're saying. I think Tibbs is the one you could move down there full time to play DN because it's what he played in college. He was a 4-3 defensive end in college. So I agree. Burns you can't put down there. I don't think you can put Carter down there. But if he went to more of a traditional 3-4, which Bowen doesn't like to do apparently, he did it a few times. And Tibbs at the end and Carter on the outside, like that O-line didn't stand the chance. So that's the only thing I'll say is I think Tibbs could do it because of his size and the fact it's what he played in college.
What if I don't know this? What if he doesn't want to do it? What if that's not? I don't know that. Like, what if that's
right?
What if he's opposed to it? Like, I don't know. I don't know. And also, if that's not what the coach does, then it's on the coach to. I always say this. I can't stand coaches who try to fit square pegs in round holes or whatever. So, like, I don't want to hear that Shane Bowen runs a 3-4 and not a 4-3. Like, if your personnel is better for a 4-3, then you should be running a 4-3, but you're not going to make that decision in week 9.
Right.
Well, let's move on to the devastating part of the game, and that's losing Skattebo. Skattebo injury, dislocated, ankle, right? Pretty devastating for the Giants because he's been, one outside of Dart, right? He's the heart and soul of this season, right? My question to you, Ryan, is did you think it was a hip drop tackle? There is a lot of fodder out there in the media about him, Bowen getting fined, that it was a hip drop tackle. And if it is a hip drop tackle, there's 7 refs on the field. How do you miss it if that's what it is? So
they miss stuff all the time. We know how they miss it.
We know that. But I mean, a hip drop tackle isn't something that's just missed. I mean, it's an illegal play where you're pulling a guy down from behind, landing on the back of his leg. Did you think it was a hip drop tackle? Because, it looks on film, it's 50-50.
Yeah. Live, I did not think that. Then I didn't see any replay of it until today because I was more concerned with Cam Skattebo than the tackle. It's not a play you want to watch again because it's so gross. But I did go back and watch it because I knew I saw all the online chatter. And so I wanted to ask the players what they thought about it. So I went back and watched it. And yeah, I do think it was when I watch it today. Yes, I do think it was.
How about you, Sean? You watched it. What'd you think?
Yeah, I think it was a hip drop tackle.
Yeah. I'm like, Oh, you're on mute, Sean.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I do. I do think it was. I mean, clearly with the way he went down and how it happened, how he tackled him. Now, I'm not going to say it was intentional that he was trying to hurt him, but I think it was a hip drop tackle. And the fact that I wouldn't be surprised if maybe something comes out this week and gets fined for it, even though a flag wasn't called.
Let me read this quote to you from Nacho. Did you guys see Raheem Nunez?
No.
Let me read this to you. Tell me what you think. It's a controversial thing. I'm not going to get into that. My heart right now is with my guy Skattebo. He's the one that took the biggest blow from the injury. Regardless of whether it was a hip drop or just a regular routine tackle, we lost somebody near and dear to us. Did he do it on purpose? We don't know. He was probably just going to make the tackle best he could. Skattebo is a guy that's hard to tackle, and with all the rules going on right now, it makes it much harder to tackle opponents of Skattebo's caliber. I'm not going to say it was dirty. I'm not going to say it was a hip drop. My heart is with Skattebo now. So I read that quote to you. So here's what I took from that quote. One, it's a topic of conversation within the team because he didn't say, like, what are you talking about? He knew exactly what I was talking about. So it certainly is something the team is aware of. Certainly a discussion amongst the Giants of whether it was or wasn't. He didn't say it was on purpose. He didn't say it wasn't on purpose. He wants to give Bowen the benefit of the doubt. So do I. I've heard nothing but good things about Bowen from around the league. And then 3, I thought it was interesting that he mentioned, like, Skattebo's a hard guy to tackle, and the rules make it really hard to get somebody of his tackle. Like, he's a guy. It was Bowen who was saying 2 weeks ago how hard it is to tackle Skattebo. So he was on some podcast somewhere talking about how hard it is to. I think Skattebo might have ran Bowen over inside the 10-yard line at one point in the game at MetLife. So. Yeah, so I don't think it was intentional, but I think it might be something Cam Skattebo has to live with is guys are going to – you want to run guys over the way you do, Cam. Guys are going to do whatever they can to get you on the ground. Like, that's your style, and that's how it's – and that's going to be guys' style against you. All right, so, no, Sean, I don't think it was a dirty play, but I do think it was an illegal play.
Sean, let me ask you this. I'm trying to think – I'm going to try to paint the picture. You've seen guys get hurt violently, right? And the guy that's involved with the play usually lingers, right? Because he knows you're hurt, right? Like Aiden Hutchinson snaps his leg, everybody's there, right?
Right.
And I don't want to read into this because I know it's very easy to read into this stuff. But if you watch the play, Bowen makes that tackle and he is out of there. Like, he is like, whatever happened just happened. Because you know right away he's hurt. He's sitting there kind of rocking back and forth, right? Again, I don't like to assume. I'm just saying, when I watch it looks to me like this. Bowen knew he had to make that tackle because Skattebo was going to break it. He knew he shouldn't be tackling him that way. Did, and he got up instantly and walked away. He didn't linger back, and you knew that cat was hurt. It does not look good for Bowen.
It could also just be that he wanted to vomit, though, too. I mean, some of
yeah, that ankle looked bad. I saw it right away. That looked.
Jackson Dart's like his brother, and he turned his back right away because it was so gross. Yeah. So, like,
and he maybe just wanted to get away.
It could just be he didn't want to see it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and then so people could get to him because he knew how bad it was. So I will give him the benefit of that. But again, I can see what people think, what they think, because he got blown up on that one. He got knocked back like 10 yards in the first game.
Yeah.
And then he got ran over a couple times. So I could see it. He probably went a little more aggressive to make sure. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to give him the benefit of doubt that it wasn't intentional. But like Ryan said, I do believe it was an illegal tackle. And the fact that it wasn't called is mind-boggling yet again of how bad those officials were.
I want to tell you guys, one of the coolest, now I've been doing this for 20 years, right? And so one of the coolest moments of my career that I'll remember forever. Cool is probably not the right word because Skattebo had a devastating injury. One of the most memorable moments of my career. Yeah, let me scratch cool because, like, it's not cool that he had a disgusting injury and it's going to take him grueling rehab. But one of the most memorable moments of my career is I'm in Philadelphia against the Giants, right? And this is known as the most hostile crowd in the NFL. they booed Santa Claus and threw batteries and,
Yep.
cheered when Michael Irvin was on a stretcher. Like, these are people, this is the, enemy territory of all
Nope.
enemy
I
territories.
think I know where you're going.
And
Same.
I'm sitting in that press box, and Skattebo gets on the cart, and all of a sudden there's a big cheer in this crowd. And I'm like, wow, I didn't realize there are that many Giants fans here. And I look down, and it's Eagles fans clapping for this guy, man. They put the rivalry aside. They put, like, whatever their reputation is for being hostile aside, and they cheered this guy getting on the crowd. Maybe it's the gruesomeness of the injury and it wouldn't have mattered who it was, but I think honestly it was, hey, you know what? This kid, this is our kind of guy. Like, Philly's a blue collar city. They'll run into telephone poles. Like, I think they see Skattebo as, like, he's our kind of guy. We love, even though he's wearing the wrong uniform, like, he's our kind of guy. And he scored 4 touchdowns against us in 5 quarters. He earned their respect the way that I don't know a lot of Giants in the last 10 years have earned the Eagles fans' respect.
So I'm going to go right along with that story, because what broke about a couple hours ago was Skattebo went to, I think it was either Jefferson or Penn, right, to get the surgery.
Penn Presbyterian. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know some of you guys already probably read this, but in case you have not, Skattebo got a surprise visit in the hospital from the chief of security from the Philadelphia Eagles. And in what we can only call an extremely classy move, he showed up with pizza and cheesesteaks. His name is Dom Giordano. Showed up with pizza. Yeah, Big Dom, chief of security, showed up with pizza and cheesesteaks as an unexpected surprise for Skattebo. So to your point, Ryan, I think they respect this guy a whole lot more than most people would give them credit for. And he's been running over Eagles in his first 2 games, against them. So shout out to Dom Giordano for doing that, because I'm sure he just was like, I love the way this guy plays. And as you said, Ryan, the crowd all supported it. So, pound out for the chief of security for the Eagles for showing up with some grub for Skattebo, which is pretty cool.
Yep, that's enough Eagles love for one show.
Yep, too much. All right, let's keep moving. Yeah, that's enough Eagles love. Let me ask you about this.
Let me just throw a plug in tonight on the
Yeah.
Post website and tomorrow in the paper. It might even be the back page, to be honest with you. I talked to a couple of doctors about what's ahead for Skattebo. So his recovery, what it looks like, the stages along the way, chances he can get back to 100%, by when, all the questions everybody has on Skattebo's, what he has to avoid, what an open fracture is versus a ankle dislocation. So everything that everybody's been asking, I called some orthopedists. So
Nice.
I tried to make sense of the language they were speaking. So that'll be up tonight. So.
Christian,
awesome.
Christian, do me a favor. Tweet out what Ryan just said, that his article is going to break in the Post with all the details about what's in front of Skattebo, and then tag Ryan in it, tag the Post in it, tweet that out, tag me in it, so then I can retweet it out when the show's over. But let's get that moving so people know that that's coming out. Is there a time, Ryan, when that breaks?
No, I mean, I submitted it right before I came on with you guys, so probably within an hour.
Okay, Christian, can you bang that out? Just tweet it out. You can tweet out from your account, and then I'll, and just mention Ryan the Post that Ryan interviewed at some orthopods to get some clarity on what's the long road look like for Skattebo, and then I'll retweet it later. Awesome. That's and by the way, did they give? I mean, we allowed to talk about it, or are we
yeah, no. The thought was. I'll tell you right now. The thought was a couple weeks of rest and elevation, couple weeks of non what's the word that I'm looking for here? Non-weight bearing range of motion exercises. And maybe in 4 to 6 weeks, they'll be doing weight bearing stuff. Several months after the stiffness has decreased, sports specific stuff. And as long as there's no infection, that's the key here. As long as he doesn't contract an infection, that's what took down Alex Smith. As long as he doesn't contract an infection, he should be on the field ready to go for the start of training camp.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now,
Great job, Ryan.
Would it made a difference if it was broken over dislocated?
Oh, that everybody thinks it's broken. The Giants haven't said that, but every doctor thinks, looking at that video, that it's also broke. That it's a dislocated ankle with a broken. There's, I guess, not to get too technical, I guess there's 3 main bones: the tibia, fibula, and temus, or something like that. That the under part of the ankle. Everybody thinks he broke the under part of the ankle, and that it went through the skin, and that's why he had to have surgery last night.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
even with it
The
being
Giants
broken,
haven't
it's still,
said that. The Giants haven't said that. No doctors who examined Skattebo said that, but the doctors who see the video said that's what it looks like, / that's the protocol. Emergency surgery is when you have a compound fracture with an open dislocation.
All right, let's talk about. We have to touch on it. We gotta do it. I mean, let's talk about. I mean, because there's a lot of things that we can go on and on and on about, but let's talk about the refs. I wrote down a couple things, and Sean, I'll kick it to you, kick it to Ryan. Like, I've got, the tush push no fumble, got a false start that they blamed on Tibbs for being in the neutral zone. Everyone on the planet can see that the tackle moved. You got an OPI on Slayton that didn't happen. The first play of the game, they threw a flag and picked it up. First play of the game, they called a penalty on the kickoff and then picked the flag up with no explanation. Okay, so the game started off what we would say effed up. Okay, then you've got Wandale for a block in the back. We've got a holding call on Carter, which he was getting arm barred. So, Christian, can you do me a favor? Brian, I want you to pay attention when I'm about to put on the screen. Ryan, Christian, Cruzy boy, bang that compilation of penalties for me, please. Tush push forward motion. Tibbs rips the ball out. That's a fumble. That's Giants ball.
Absolutely.
Okay, here we go. Tibbs is lined up. Tackle moves right there. Tackle moves. Nothing for there. This guy is holding Slayton's wrist. Nope. That's on Slayton somehow. Here's Wandale blocking. He's not blocking anybody. The tackler is tackling Tracy, and that's a block in the back. He's not blocking anybody.
This is a great compilation, guys. Holy moly.
Okay, stop right there. Can you stop it, Christian, or no? Oh, play it again. Play it again, please. Play it again. The last one, right? Tush push. No, wait. Oh, we can't pause it, can we, Christian? They don't let you to. So, as Jared Allen said, you're pushing someone forward, propelling someone forward. This guy, look, he moves. Tackle moves. Boom. That's not on Tibbs. He's holding the wrist there on Slayton. And this is only 4 or 5 of them. This Wandale thing. How do you block a guy in the back when the guy's making the tackle? And he just skims him and misses it. And then lastly is this poor Corey Black is in an arm bar here. The receiver throws him off. They call that. And here's my thing, Ryan, and Sean, jump in. Here's my thing.
Yeah.
I'm not coming out of the gate saying the Giants lost because of the refs, but it's very hard for me to sit here and say, and that's a compilation of 5. There were a good 8 things that could have changed the game. There's 14-point swing there because the very next play after the tush push, they score a touchdown. That's 7 points. Slayton's is 7 points. They're coming off 72 hours, Ryan, 72 hours prior to that. The NBA's in the tank. Nobody even looks at the NBA the same anymore. They're shaving points. It's this whole thing's a scam. How do we not know across the hallway at the NFL it's not happening there? We've got photos and video, Ryan, of the refs laughing during the game.
Well, Here's the thing too, Craig. Like, people say it may not have cost the Giants game. So I got a couple quick points. Number one, that Thibodeau fumble is at a crucial time when the game's still close. That changes the momentum right then and there, right? Yeah, tied. And then here's the thing, and it may be a hot take, maybe whatever, but if they don't call that penalty on Wandale, it's 2nd and 1. Skattebo does not get injured because they don't run that pass play because it was 1st and 11 or 2nd and 11 at that time, right?
Yeah.
And if they call the fumble, games change a little differently. Another reason why that Skattebo play doesn't happen. So directly the Wandale penalty, which when you have Tom Brady, who does not like the Giants, by the way, right? Still has bitterness over losing 2 Super Bowls to him. All game is saying the Giants are getting screwed, basically. There's no doubt in my mind that if they don't call that block on Wandale, Skattebo is still here for the rest of the season. So that's how bad they were. So yes, it's all game-changing stuff. Game-changing stuff right there. Every play we watched on there, game-changing stuff. Because it was 3rd and 11 on that Corey Black DPI, and then they score a touchdown after that. They have to punt or kick a field goal. I forget where they were on the field. It might have been long field goal attempt on that one. It was 3rd and 11. I know that, and they gave them the first down. And then they scored a touchdown after that. So
And
it's
Ryan,
all game-changing.
I'm going to read you 4 quotes, right?
Well, hold
Jared
on.
Allen-
Let me say one thing.
Go ahead.
And then I'll discuss whatever you want to discuss. I don't know if I can go with that's 2 sliding doors for me on the Cam Skattebo doesn't get hurt because they could run that play 2 plays later on 1st and 10 and then he gets hurt on that. So I don't know that I can blame the officials for Cam Skattebo getting hurt. And then 2, it doesn't even it out. The Giants got a bad whistle in this game. But it's not 7-0. The Giants did catch a break. That was the play before the terrible pass interference on Slayton. That was a fumble on Dart, and the Giants caught a break there. They ruled that an incomplete pass. That you'd be screaming if that was the other way around.
Well, it was late in the game, but I hear you. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. 2 things that I wanted to bring to your attention, right? When is
read me those quotes.
Quotes. Yeah. So this is what I just grabbed real fast before the show. Jared Allen got interviewed a lot today. Not really sure, I guess, because he's a defensive player, right? Says basically the Giants got screwed again. So the again is what caught my attention. Yeah. Okay. Pat McAfee says it's an egregious call, right? Dane Orlovsky says it's a clear and obvious fumble to anyone who's ever watched a football game before.
Yeah.
Howie Long says it's absolutely obnoxious. It's an egregious call. Everyone's on the same page, Ryan. And here's what I don't understand. I've played a lot of football in my day. I've watched a lot of football in my day. I understand the rules change. But we are at this point where the rules are kind of arbitrary. They're only enforced for certain teams. So here's what really rubs me wrong. How is the 11-yard line treated as if it's the end zone? Because if you watch the play, Dallas Goedert is pushing Jalen Hurts forward by the ass. He is in forward. There's no stopping of any momentum at all. He is being pushed. Because you extend the ball out, it's the end zone. It's the 11-yard line. It's not breaking any plane. How does New York not overrule it? These guys got wires in their ears, and the whole NFL goes like this. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you can't. I mean, what they called makes it you can't review forward progress or whatever. So once they call forward progress, there's nothing nothing New York or the officials or nothing they can do. You can't review forward progress. It shouldn't have been called forward progress.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying once you get to replay in New York and all that, there's nothing they can do.
There's 7 guys on the field.
Yeah.
There's no possible way that 7 people are going like this. Yeah, the 11-yard line is the end zone. That means there's no forward progress. It doesn't make sense.
Here's what I'll say. So the Post has done a lot on the tush push over these. We did a thing on it during the Super Bowl, and I'm pro tush push. Okay. My thought is I can't ban a play because one team is good at it and no one else has figured it out. I'm not going to ban the Hail Mary because Aaron Rodgers is better at it than everybody else. Okay. So not going to, the injury excuse that coaches use, there's
No.
no data to back that up. Like the
No, there
NFL
isn't.
gives
I
you the
agree.
data, there's
I
no
agree.
data to back that up.
But the rule says no pushing or pulling,
The
propelling a player.
refs, the best argument yesterday is the best argument for banning the tush push that I have seen. And it might be what ends up getting the owner's attention is the refs do not know how to officiate that play. They don't know how. Like they don't know when the play is over. They don't know what they don't know if it's forward progress. That they don't know how to officiate.
How
the
do they
play.
not know?
I mean, whatever. They
They
don't
don't know if
I
the
mean,
guys. They don't know if the guy's offsides. They can't judge a false
it's
start
too
on the
close
offensive
to say
line.
false starts.
Yeah. Yeah.
The play is too nuanced or whatever. Like there's just too much. They can't do it. They don't know how to officiate the
How
play.
do we not know this stuff is rigged? This is not like
I
a
don't
one-off.
believe it's. I'll push back. I don't believe it's rigged in any way, shape, or form.
And I appreciate that. I just need someone to tell me. It doesn't have to be you, of course, but
I have
you're
a much
talking about-
bigger problem. I have a much bigger problem with what the Ravens did. That's a totally different conversation.
Yes.
I have a much bigger problem with what the Ravens did faking their injury report than with any of the on-field calls that are bang bang in a football game.
Agreed. Agreed. But I do honestly agree with like premeditated, which is what happened with the report. That's premeditated. You're cheating on purpose. I get that.
Sure.
But how in the world do you get one game where there are 7 at a minimum, 7 mistakes? There's 7 refs on the field. This is their job. If I get 7 things wrong in one day, I'm getting canned.
Yeah.
Wait, Ryan, if you wrote 7 pieces this week and they were all wrong, do you still have a job? If you misquote someone, so how is it possible that the NFL can allow these clowns to make it? And the only answer we have is that it's bang bang, or it's
that's it.
It's
that
not
they get
good
more
enough.
right than they get wrong. Yeah, that's
It's
it.
not when the NBA is rung up for scandal 72 hours prior.
Yeah,
Wait, time out. Let's double down. November 1st, all NCAA coaches and players are now legal to gamble on games. Do they think they're going to stop gambling when they get to the pros?
That's a good point. Yeah,
I want to see the number 1 defensive player in all of college who's betting on games go get the first round draft pick for the Cleveland Browns, the New York Giants, the New York Jets, and he's just going to stop gambling because he's now in the pros.
Or he'll hire an interpreter and he'll have him gamble for him.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a joke, man. When do they
Nice, Ryan. Well done.
Was a backhand. Yeah, it was. I wasn't going to say anything, but I was like, ooh.
That was well done.
Yeah.
Let's see if MLB is next for the FBI.
Here's what I'll say. Let me say this. This was another good quote. This backs up my point. This is what Brian Burns said. And like everybody, the attention and the post, I did it, right? The sexy quote is Kayvon Thibodeau saying that's bullshit, right? That's the sexy quote. This is the quote that is the calm, like attention-grabbing quote. This is Brian Burns. 2 weeks ago, the officials allowed them to push the pile against us. Now we stop the surge and they blow the whistle quick. So what he's saying is like they get to keep going, and after we stop them, they get to keep going, and there's no like the play is dead. We stop them, but like we stop them, and it's like forward progress, play is dead. So like what he's telling you is like it's impossible to defend that play, and like they have an advantage because like forward progress is like a backup for the forward progress is like a default, like a fallback plan for them. And so the defense doesn't have that. So that right there, we all know like the rules favor the offense, but that's literally the rules favoring the offense.
Christian, throw up the comment from Kessler at 8:22 p.m. about the tush push being amended. Can you put that up there? All right, got it. Yeah, there it is. The tush push is legal play because the NFL amended its rules in 2005 to allow players to push a ball carrier forward while still prohibiting pulling or carrying the runner. Aren't they the same? I'm like, pulling or carrying the runner, I get it. So you can't pull or carry, but you can push?
Yes. Yeah. He's right. That's true.
It's crazy.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid rule. And again, they amend rules because officials can't officiate, so they couldn't determine what was what. Like, just it's everybody knows they have an officiating problem in the NFL. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Let's just make refs full time. Let's pay them full-time employees. Whatever the reason, make it happen.
matters.
I don't understand it.
People say that all the time. Why does that matter? You think they're not spending their time? You think that was a matter of them not doing their homework because there are lawyers on the side? Like,
Well, it's gonna prohibit some other people. Like, you got to have a stringent thing, and I do think if you're full time and not part time, I do think it'll make a difference. Like, I absolutely do. Like, it's
Wow.
crazy because there's just so many things that are wrong. It's been a problem for years. It keeps getting worse and worse. NFL officiating is getting worse and worse. Like, everybody complains about officials. We get that. But these are legit complaints,
I don't know if
and
I
they are
agree with
getting
that.
worse and worse.
I don't know if I agree. I think technology is getting better and better. So stuff that they missed
Okay.
stuff they missed 20 years ago before, 8K super slow-mo speed base camera, like, pylon cams. Like, I just think the stuff that always missed is getting, caught now, basically.
Yeah, but
Well, then
okay.
let's use
explain to me.
technology for better. Then
Now
let's
there you go. Now you want to say, like,
Right.
you want robot, baseball is going to have a robot home plate umpire. You want robot officials. I guess you could.
Use
guess you could
replay
do that.
assist
I
on
don't want any
everything.
part of that, but I guess
No,
tell me that.
but
No,
let me
no.
ask this. I got a serious question. Do the refs actually, because and I said this earlier too, and I'm going to preface it with, I'm not a fan of Ryan Clark. I'm not a fan of his positioning on anything. And he does lean in real heavy on, I'm a player, you're not, you don't know anything.
I hate that.
Yes.
I don't have a take on Ryan Clark, but I hate that argument.
Yes, exactly. So I understand, because I don't subscribe to that either. But I do have a question on something like what we all saw on the OPI, right? The OPI, I almost feel like they don't know what actual interference is, because if you watch that play, there's a little bit of hand fighting, and then there is an actual grab of the hand and the wrist. Under any circumstances, if you understand what pass interference is, impeding the wide receiver after 5 yards from making the catch, is something that they are reading in a book and they don't know. Like, there's something missing, because on that specific play, they went to the only thing it couldn't be, which is offensive interference.
There's probably a measure of, especially on pass interference, certain
benchmarks.
That benchmarks maybe that they look for. And there is a point in that, right, where Slayton extends his arm, right? His arm is like extended. So that, if I'm guessing, is one of the things that, like, that's a cue, maybe not a bench, a cue. There are certain cues, like a wide receiver with an extended arm tells you it's pass interference, offensive pass interference.
Meanwhile, the arm is extended because the guy's holding him. He's trying to get free.
Correct.
And not only that, he grabbed his shirt too. Not only did he grab his ribs, he grabbed his shirt afterwards.
So, and to Slayton's point, he had done it to him once earlier in the game, and Slayton was like, nah, you ain't doing this to me again, not in this spot. So Slayton's argument is, it had been done to me once. I was going to make sure it wasn't done to me twice, and he got double banged for it. So,
so that's why I'm saying, like, again, I was saying about Ryan Clark, because Ryan Clark does that a lot, and I don't agree, and I don't appreciate him calling people stupid that don't play. But on that specific play, there's just something missing. I understand the cue thing, but every angle, every person.
It's not a good call. It's a bad call.
Yeah, and I just don't understand how you mount them, right? Like, at some point, you're going to make 2-3 plays you just miss. We're stacking 7-8 of them in one game. Yeah. Like, at some point, it's kind of like when Bowen sucks ass and you're hoping him to pivot somewhere at halftime. It's like the halftime, someone has to go, guys, you're blowing it. Like the refs need somehow an overarching group that says, guys, you're never getting playoff games because you're
Yeah,
bombing right now.
that happens though. I think that happens. There's a referee grading scale, and only the best ones get playoff games.
But,
And if
are they
you
able to
bomb
pivot in
out, you
game?
don't come. Huh?
Are they able to pivot in game, Ryan? In the game, they're blowing the game for one team specifically. Someone needs to step in and say, guys, you are not watching the same game America is.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, I get, I mean, yeah, I get it. I get the frustration with it. I don't know that it would be would we be talking about this if like they blew 5 calls and it was, or let's say they blew 10 calls and it was 5 on each team? We wouldn't be talking about how bad so it just happened to be that they all went against the same team. So I think that's more, they blow calls every game, and we just kind of chalk them up to it all balances out in the end. This time it didn't balance out in the end.
So then my question is, and Sean, I'll let you jump in real fast, is Sean thinks that the staff should get bombed at the end of the year. I'm not really interested in starting all over when we went from 12 points a game to 20 points a game. I know Dable and Shane are both bad at roster management. They're both bad at timeouts, but I do think there's a little bit of mojo here. My question is that Sean wants to blow them out. I want to get a new DC or / assistant head coach that actually knows how. Is somebody like Zimmer or Rivera or somebody, can someone, like the Giants the Eagles brought in, what do you call it?
Fangio.
Yeah. And he's an older guy, not looking to steal, anybody's job. He's just coming in to coach and run great defense. Could the Giants just blow out Bowen here next year? Because doing better at 9 yards per carry is not doing better. He can't, if Stable stays, Bowen can't stay.
Well, that won't happen. No, that won't happen. They're not going to do that. I mean, if Daboll's back somehow, then he's going to have a new defensive coordinator. No, they're not going to go through this season and not have anybody take a fall. If somehow Daboll's back, it'll be with a new DC. And like you said, maybe it's just an older guy who isn't looking to become a head coach or whatever. But whoever it is, has to realize it could be a 1-year job. So, like, how motivated is that person going to be? I don't know. He's going to have a hard time hiring a DC next year if he's back.
What do you think, Sean?
Well, listen, I'm going to put a name out there. We already talked about this earlier. I understand the DC needs to go and that, but I don't know that the DC fixes everything. Yes, if
it does not.
Right. So you're still going to have certain issues. You're still going to have the kicker issue. You're still going to have the decision with game day rosters. You're still going to have a whole bunch of other things. You're still going to have questionable play calling on offense. Because let's be realistic, Jackson Dart is making the play call look better than what it actually is. Like, can somebody explain to me why our offense coordinator refuses to call running back screens, and when he does, it actually works for a touchdown, but doesn't call again, but will love to call a tight end screen? Like, it makes zero sense what we're doing there. So, and I'm gonna give a shout out to R Lass on Twitter who threw this name at me, and I like it because for a number of reasons. Like, I want a defensive minded head coach. That's what I want. I'm tired of the offensive geniuses. I'm tired of soft ass teams. I'm tired of all of it. So I want Jesse Minter to come over for 2 reasons. He's been with Harbaugh for a while.
Like your
Can you hear me?
I got you.
Oh,
you got me right. All right. So Jesse Minter is my guy that I want to come in. He runs a heck of a defense, right? He's been with Harbaugh, who has rebuilt programs at a quick pace. He was with him.
So I can't hear either one of those 2 guys.
Yeah, put you on mute because we can hear you, Craig, as you're talking right now. But anyway, so that's what I'm thinking. And all you got to do is hire a good offensive coordinator.
Ryan can hear me, but now Ryan, say something. I can't hear Ryan or them. What the heck just happened? Crazy. All right. Well, so you guys will be able to talk because I'm on the outside.
It's okay. My time's almost up anyway. It's almost kids' bedtime. But yeah.
So that's what I'm going with, Ryan. I don't know your thoughts on that. But
Sean, you're talking about Jesse Minter as the head coach to replace Daboll. That's what you're saying.
Exactly right. Yes.
Yeah. Because he would never work with Daboll. So
yeah, right.
I mean, sure. We're getting ahead of ourselves. If in a world where they fire Daboll, I would agree with you. I would push for a defensive minded or CEO style head coach and find an offensive guru, young 28-year-old kid like everybody seems to find to work with Jackson Dart. I would not worry about having an offensive-minded head coach.
Yep, I agree with that. So, okay. Well, Ryan, I know you got to head out, but any last words that you want to share with us?
Was there any quick questions you need me to answer from the fans? Was there anything the listeners anything quick I need to answer? Somebody said, how about Fangio hurts the Eagles? He's not going to come to the Giants. He's not going to leave the Eagles to come to the Giants. Oh, you're saying as a head coach. You're saying as a head coach. He was not a very good head coach the first time. Could he be a good head coach the second time? I guess it could be. I don't know if he really even has any interest in it. I think he might be one of those guys who's happy to be a defensive coordinator. Ryan, do you think Bowen is putting players in a position to do their best? No, not necessarily. But I don't think players are capitalizing on the positions they're being put in either. So, like, yeah, I would have the three edges on the field more. But like, there's nothing he can do. I want to be as clear as day here. There's nothing he can do to make Deonte Banks better. There's nothing he can do to make Darius Muasau into like Fred Warner. They don't have good enough players. There's nothing he can do to make, whoever is lined up next to Dex into Dex. Like, there's just nothing he can do. So, like, is he maximizing it? No, but he's not the reason either.
Okay. Interesting, because I mean, the other thing is you have other teams that kind of go and have players get injured, and they can bring some more out of them.
They have better players. They have better players. Like,
yeah. So is that a Shane
Corey
issue
Black
then?
was on the Jets 6 days ago, and he played the whole second half at cornerback. Where's Art Green, or where's anybody else that like? Where's anybody else?
That's what I'm surprised with Art Green. Like, I would have played Art Green over Deonte Banks, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
and roll the dice there and see where you go. Absolutely.
You're counting on a guy who was on another team 6 days ago. Here's the problem with the Giants. Evan Neal is a healthy scratch. Jalen Hyatt's a healthy scratch. James Hudson's a healthy scratch. That's a $12 million free agent, 2-year, $12 million free agent, a first-round pick, and a third-round pick. And you're playing Corey Black and Darius Muasau, and Aaron Stinney is a backup active. Like, you're out of whack. You're playing guys who are on minimum contracts, and you're sitting guys who are premium investments. Like, that's not Shane Bowen's fault.
Right. So whose fault is that? Is that Shane?
Shane's fault.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted to make sure. That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that's what it was. So,
well, it's Shane's fault. No, I shouldn't say that. It's Joe Shane's fault / the coaching staff, because I don't know that Jalen Hyatt was a bad pick. Maybe he was a bad pick, or maybe he wasn't developed. But between them, it's their fault.
Yeah. Well, this roster is better than it has been the last couple of years, and it's still. And I know the injuries happen and all that. So it's like.
It's
all right,
better
you got
than
a better roster.
But it's still not a year 4 roster.
Okay.
It's better than it's been.
Fair
it's
enough.
Not a year 4 roster. Yeah.
Fair enough. No, I agree. I would absolutely agree with that point there. So I think Shane bears some responsibility. I think the coaching staff bears some responsibilities. So awesome. Well, Liz, I know you stayed with us longer than allotted for, so we appreciate that. But any last thing you want to put out there before you head out?
No, I'm good. I'll be back next week after the 49ers game. I think honestly, this is one of the more winnable games they have left on their schedule. So,
yeah, maybe the Bears.
Yeah, maybe, but it's in Chicago. This is honestly, I think, one of the more winnable ones. So,
let's hope.
2-6.
Let's hope.
2-6, 5 years of the last 7. So
it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And listen, I like fired up Ryan. So
yeah,
this is good, man. So we appreciate it as always, Ryan. We'll see you next week, man.
See you guys.
Well, all right. I don't know if Craig, we're still having technical difficulties with Craig. So Christian, let's cue up the one last drive.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into it. All right, so we got one last drive here. Let's start off with the first question here from BKS1207. He says, "Did you guys see what Carl Banks said about Dexter? Curious about your thoughts." Um, I'll let you
I
start
did.
off, Sean. Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay.
I saw what he said. I watched the video. He also had stuff to say about Shane Bowen as well and the coaching staff. But I have no problem with what he said about Dexter because he also said that he said it to Dexter directly. So Dexter's aware. And yes, we got to start calling out players that are not doing. Dexter's either injured,
Mhm.
the new dad thing is getting to him. He maybe came in camp out of shape. He's also being played out of position for his strengths are. So it's a
For sure.
number of things, but I think it's a challenge because I think Dex is frustrated with our defensive coordinator. He's frustrated with losing. He's frustrated. So if he challenge him, and listen, Carl Banks is a potential, should be a Hall of Famer. He's a Giants legend. I know somebody, Connor Hughes, put out that he's a color commentator. No, dude, he's a Giants legend. Like he knows defense. He's an intelligent man. He knows what he's talking about. And when you watch that tape, that defense was atrocious. And Dexter does need to step it up. And if he can't step it up, then that's a different story, and we need to kind of know that. So no, I got no problem with what he said at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat as you are, Sean. I mean, I honestly was kind of shocked that Carl had even mentioned Dexter Lawrence, but I think it's good. I really do think it's good, and I have a ton of respect for Carl Banks. For me personally, I didn't think he was wrong. I still think that Dexter Lawrence is the best defensive player on this team. Even though right now he may not be playing like he is, I still think that he is. But me personally, one thing I was looking for in this game was how Dexter Lawrence was going to look, just because he hasn't really had that game that we're used to seeing from Dexter Lawrence, that takeover game that we're used to seeing. Yeah, a couple weeks ago he had the interception on Justin Herbert, but since then he's been fairly quiet. And to your point, Sean, he is playing out of place compared to where we are used to seeing him play in previous years. You could blame the injury, you could blame him having a kid, but we're in week 9 of the season right now, and at some point we need to see the Dexter Lawrence that we've seen in years past. And I still think it's in there. I still think that he is
Oh
a
yeah,
high level player, no doubt. But I also don't think that it's wrong to say that he has not played up to that level of expectation that we're used to seeing with Dexter Lawrence. And it's kind of flipped a little bit because going into this year, you would think that Dexter Lawrence, with the addition of Abdul Carter, with Brian Burns having another year under his belt in Shane Bowen's defense, that things would open up for Dexter Lawrence. But in actuality, things have opened up for Brian Burns. He's the
exactly.
first player on this defense as of this year to reach double-digit sacks. And I mean, if he stays healthy, I mean, Lord knows where that number is going to go, because we have another 8, 9 weeks to go. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I had no issues with what Carl Banks was saying in regards to
Well,
Dexter.
and one last point, and then we'll go on to the next question is if you're going to call out a Tyler Newman, a Deontay Banks, other guy, Darius Muasau, then why can't you call out a Dexter Lawrence when he's not playing well? We need him to be the leader. We need him to take over, and we need to make sure that he doesn't get frustrated and basically checks out because he's tired of the losing. He's tired of the defense. So
Yeah,
yeah, agreed. Let's do it.
yeah,
Now, what we got
definitely.
next?
I think actually that transitions perfectly to this next question from James Wright. He says, "Oh, excuse me." He says, "Guys, do you think we are stunting key players' development by constantly losing?" I do think that losing is contagious. I do think that we've been a losing organization now for quite some time, and I mean, I think it does rub off on certain players. There's really not a lot of players on this team that know how to win. Even with Brian Burns, right? He's playing like the best player on our defense, but he came from a losing organization in Carolina. A lot of the players that we have either stuck with the Giants through their losing years, or outside of a couple rookies, obviously, they came from losing organizations. And I think that again, it is infectious. I think that this team is headed in the right direction, but I would say that I don't think at certain positions we have the right guys coaching these players. Obviously, defensive coordinator is one that comes to mind, but I'm looking also at our linebackers coach. I'm looking at the secondaries coach, but you also have to look at the players too that are on the field, because you can have all of these great coaches, but if these players aren't executing their assignments, I mean, what good is that?
Well, here's the thing. I think I don't know, it's the losing that's stunning them, but it can hurt their mindset and their mentality, not their physical ability. I think the defensive coordinator is absolutely stunning their development because even the position coaches are teaching what the defensive coordinator wants. That's the job of the assistant coach, is to work on their positions assignments on the defense. I think it also is stunning on the offensive side with our receivers. Like, clearly we have guys that should be developing and are not developing. So yes, players do get blamed, but at the NFL level, coaching still matters. We still have to blame coaches. That's why coaches are fired. That's why changes are made. If we don't think that coaching matters, then what are we doing? Why even have a coach? Like, seriously, right? So no, I don't think it's that the losing is I think it's hurting their mentality, and I think it hurts their confidence, and I think it hurts some of their aggression. But my biggest thing is I want to understand why we don't have players taking on the personality of our head coach as he is during the game. Does that mean he's more lackadaisical during practice and that's what's carrying over to games? Because it makes zero sense. We don't have the fire and passion that he shows on the thing. So there's something there that I want to look at when we're talking about stunning players. If you're not running a hard practice, if you're not being a disciplinarian at practice, then that's stunning their growth. And you look at our offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, they're both soft personalities. Very, very soft spoken. They're just not, there's no fire, there's no passion, no emotion. And I think that's carrying over to the team as well. So those things I do think are stunning the development of the player. So what we got next?
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you, Sean. I think you hit it right on the head. This is a comment by Real Cold G. A constant theme here. Yes, sir. Why isn't Bowen using him like Micah Parsons? I'm sure he's talking about Abdul Carter. You want to start?
Of course,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's the $1 million question. We all said when he was drafted, he's Micah Parsons. Why are you not using like him? I mean, he does shift him around a little bit. He does do some things, but he's not. I don't know if he thinks that Brian Burns is the best player in that defense, which he is. He's defensive player of the year right now. He's the best player in the NFL. But the fact that we talked about it earlier is, why is he not starting? Why is he not in the first play? Why is he not in the first series? Why are you so worried about rotations when you got 4 great players? Like, stop worrying about guys being rested in the fourth quarter when you're getting behind early in the game and it's messing you up later in the game. Get your best players on the field. That's your job, to figure out how many other teams do not have their best players. Was Aiden Hutchinson not on the field from day one? Was other linebackers not on the field day one?
No,
I don't give a shit about rotations anymore. I'm tired of hearing about rotations all season. Well, rotations, we want guys fresh, blah, 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 blah. Get your guys on the field. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, no, I think you made some good points. I mean, I think that he has been impacting this defense in ways that obviously aren't going to pop up on the stat sheet, but there have been opportunities where, Abdul Carter will have an edge, right? And you see, this is just me personally, I've seen Abdul Carter on the ground way too much. If that is something I could critique from Abdul Carter, I'd like to see him not be on the ground so much. And I think that we'll see in his second year, hopefully with better coaching, but I think we'll see in his second year, he'll be a stronger player. I think right now he has that rookie strength is what I call it. I think there's a difference between rookie strength and NFL veteran strength. But me personally, I mean, again, I think that his impact isn't popping up on the stat sheet, but his impact is there. I mean, he has some quality reps against Lane Johnson.
He's number 1 in the NFL for time to pressure, like literally number 1.
I don't doubt it. I mean,
you can see what he's doing. You can see how he's wreaking havoc. I agree with it. So the stat sheet doesn't matter. Like, just watch the damn game and see what he's doing. Get his ass on the field more. Get his ass on the field from play 1. Yeah, enough is enough.
Definitely.
Enough is enough.
And that's why for me, like, I definitely want to see him under a different defensive coordinator in a different scheme. I don't, like I said, I don't have a lot of trust in Shane Bowen. Ultimately, I would like to see these guys get coached up more. You've heard not just from Ryan, but multiple, reporters that cover the Giants, how training camp and practice is kind of like a country club. It's more lax. It's not as intense as it probably could be and should be.
Except for this season, it was more intense. So I know other people said that, but yes, like this season was a lot more, everybody reported on it. So I get it, get different diets out there, but I'm not going to blame it on that country called crap that's being put out, because that's not what
That's
it
fair.
was this year. That's not it. It's a lot of things. And yes, I know somebody said that he lost contain in second 31. He got upfield a little too more. It was a 4-man rush, and whatever it was, they ran a draw or whatever it was. So I'm not going to put that totally on Carter for. I mean, he got upfield, but there's a huge gap because other guys are going the other way. That's the
Yeah.
problem. If guys do what they're supposed to do, you can't have 3 guys going one way and then Carter going upfield the other way and leave a huge gap. Like, I don't know why you have 3 guys going the opposite direction. But anyway, all right, what's the next question we got? Because Joker is fired up right now.
Yeah, no, let's keep this going because I think you would genuinely. I want to see your reaction to this. Hold on one second. He says, this is from 2 giant goofballs, good fellas over there, good Giants content creators. They said,
Absolutely.
who wants to work with Dable and his attitude, especially with him being a potential lame duck coach? I mean, that was the argument when they were looking to hire a defensive coordinator before they really had no choice but to hire Shane Bowen. I mean, that was the conversation. Who wants to come in to an organization where you have a head coach and a general manager that are on the hot seat? It's most likely
Listen,
going to be a
I'm going to interrupt you real
job.
quick because I saw
Yeah,
Mark.
yeah,
Dan Duggan is full of crap. I'm going to say it right now. Dan Duggan is full of crap because every reporter said this offseason. Everybody was in the building at practices, all said they were in pads. They were playing the starters. It wasn't a light offseason. So Dan Duggan is just starting crap. Sorry, Mark. You're my guy. I love it. I appreciate you bringing him up, but I'm tired of guys like Dan Duggan and Jordan Raanan saying the shit they're saying just to start drama right now. And that's all they're doing right now is starting drama, because all off season, they talked about how this was the toughest camp that Dable's run. He's got them in pads. It's more physical. And now all of a sudden when they're losing, they're talking about it's a light practice this summer. Hell no. Enough is enough with these reporters. Enough.
I listen. I love that you're being fired up about this because for me,
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it because everybody said people who were there, all of it. May they have a light practice here and there? Sure, you're gonna, because you can't go hard every single practice because guys need rest, right? But overall, in general, as a whole, this camp was the hardest camp they run. I'm tired of it. Seriously, I'm tired of it. This is not directed at Mark. He knows that. This is directed at the reporters who pull this shit every damn year. Because it gets some clicks, it gets some engagement, and that's all it is. They're drama kings. And everybody can quote me. They can quote the reporters out it. They can put me in it. I don't care. Enough is enough. Enough is enough with the bullshit. Start reporting real shit.
I like it. Let's go. I love this energy, Sean, because it's valid.
And Dan's full of shit. He's one of the first reporters out there. People like him because he feeds into the negativity. He doesn't know shit. He doesn't know football either. Doesn't know a damn thing about football. Guy was a cross-country dude. He knows jack shit about football. Tired of Dan Duggan. Tired of all these other guys saying the shit they say. Don't care anymore. Don't care. Find me for going off on reporters.
No, you're good, man. I mean, like I said, I love the energy that you're bringing, because how you're feeling right now is how I actually feel about this comment here. He says, why are we calling quarterback draws when we're getting blown out and we already lost 3 players on the day? There was one play in particular where the Giants were in the red zone and they did run Jackson Dart on a quarterback draw. He took a nasty hit. Me personally, don't get me wrong, I know that that's something that Kafka and Dable love to do with their quarterbacks. But I think for me, because I'm so traumatized by how injury prone Daniel Jones was, especially when he was leaving the pocket, I personally am not looking for my quarterbacks to take that level of contact. We've already seen Jackson Dart take some of the biggest hits so far this season out of any Giants quarterback that stood behind that offensive line. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of it in those situations. I'm not saying I'm against it completely, but in those situations, I would prefer a jet sweep, or honestly, when you're as close as they were for that specific play that I'm mentioning, for me, it's anything but that. But I believe ultimately they scored on that drive. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it at all. I mean, it's part of his development. Tom Brady was saying the same thing. Leaving a game is part of his development. They're not punishing him. You can't worry about a quarterback getting hurt. You just can't. If it happens, it happens. Like, and listen, I love our fans. I appreciate all the guys, the people that follow us, but our giant fan base is so worried about injuries because, yes, we do get the injury bug. But my problem is not that they called it there. It's that where was it in other games? Where was the play calling earlier in the game? Where was that thing going on? You got to score there. It's part of his development. It is what it is. You can't take him out because this is how he develops as a guy. When you're down by that much, and listen, if that Slayton touchdown happens, it's a different ball game. The game's still close, right? So he's got to learn from everything that's out there. And that is what you learn. And I get it. I understand it. You don't want our franchise quarterback to get hurt, but he's got to be playing there. And I don't care about running a quarterback draw there either. That's part of the game. That's what you run. That's what he does. Again, I'm not always on the same side as a lot of people, but we can't stop playing the game. We can't have our quarterback not doing what he's supposed to do. You want to complain about the play calling? Fine. Complain about it earlier in the game. I get it. I understand what they're saying. I completely get it. I just don't agree with it. There's nothing wrong with that play call there. You're just going to give up and quit because you're not going to have a quarterback run a thing. You got to have him score. You got to show it. Not only does that, it shows the rest of the team. Like he's building his leadership with the rest of the team. And the best part about Dart, when he did that after the game, he's like, I don't want to lose. I'm not used to losing, and we're not going to accept this round here. So I get it. You don't want your franchise quarterback hurt, but he's not Daniel Jones. He's a tough son of a bitch. He's bigger and stronger than people realize. And again, I'm not getting on the fans who brought it up. I'm not doing that. I'm just fired up in general because the Giants suck. The coaching sucks. The season sucks. And now is when the negativity, the excuses, and all the BS is going to come out because the Giants are losing.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair assessment to make. I mean, what is there really to say when a team is as bad as the Giants are and they're having the season that the Giants are having? I mean, I think it also depends on each person's level of expectations for this year, because you did have some people thinking, this was a playoff team, and I'm not going to lie, I thought this team with Russ starting was going to go 10-6, potentially, but that's just me. I'll eat crow, no problem there. But I think with Jackson Dart, I think right now it's just focusing on his development, focusing on the development of these younger players. I don't want to see guys like Greg Van Roten getting much time. I'd like to see Bo getting some time. I really want to see players going forward that are going to be on this team going forward get some more reps and some more time, as opposed to some of these guys that by the end of this year are probably not going to be on this roster.
But the only problem with that is that's when guys get hurt. That's when guys get hurt, when you start doing stuff like that. Like, I understand. Yeah, I would like to see Bo more, but where are you going to put him? You can't put him at guard. He hasn't played guard all year. He's been the swing tackle. You put him at guard, something bad's going to happen. Like this team, and we finally have a good low line. Like, just stay with it. Now, if we're talking about the last 3 games of the year, that's a different story, right? But from here on out, you got to go things the way you go. Now, in skill positions, absolutely get some other guys out there. But when it comes to line or important positions, like it's all, and the rest of this year is about developing the quarterback, which is also why if you can make a trade for a wide receiver, you do it. You do it because our play calling is ass. We don't know how to scheme to get guys open because Kafka does not call the right plays. So at least find a receiver and get open that can help with Dart's development and be there next year. You're not trading for a wide receiver to get wins this year. You're trading for a wide receiver to help his development. That's what that is about. Plain and simple. And then he's going to be there next year as well to help Dart next year and with Neighbors, because we don't have a wide receiver 2 on this team at all. Wandale is a good number 2 when Neighbors is there. He's a number 3 if you have another number 2. Darius Slayton is not a number 2 wide receiver. I don't care that he caught an 80-yard pass or whatever it was, because he didn't do shit the rest of the game.
Yeah, you got a good point there. It looks
good
like
for
we got
one play. You need guys to get open. So there we go. Yeah. Craig, you back? Can you hear me?
I'm back, baby.
Hey, right. You know what? I'm glad I'm really glad. Oh my God, I can't talk. I'm so flustered right now. I'm really glad that the king is back, because
Scott the Beta King.
I can't thank you.
Yeah.
Because I was feeling like left out in the back. I'm like, what? I got something to say.
No. Honestly, I really want to hear you and Sean going off, because I think this is the perfect conversation for you two. I'm gonna leave it to y'all here, and I'm gonna go back to where I belong.
Wait, no, hang out. I like you up here. Hang out.
Okay.
Wait, just you're part of the team, dude. So hey, What's the question? What's the question you want me to get into, though?
What's the next question? Go ahead.
Why does Tyler Nubin stink?
Oh man, I think actually Sean and I agree wholeheartedly on this, that there's a lot to do with the scheme doesn't work for these two guys, or they don't understand it, or right now they're freelancing too much. I like Ryan said, sometimes you got to put onus on the player, right? Don't blame the player for not making plays. To me, and I think Sean agrees, they both just seem out of whack. When Holland's healthy, they're never where they should be, right? So I think it's either they don't understand the scheme, the DB coach isn't breaking it down for them. I don't know, but there's something missing because they're two world-class athletes. Yes, Nubin may be a little bit on the slower side, as Ryan Dunleavy alluded to about a half hour ago, that they are worried about his speed, but they're just, again, he might turn out to be a box safety, K-Mac. But right now, it looks, from the outside looking in, they're just always out of position. Something's missing. Like, they're not either understanding their assignments. They're guessing when they shouldn't be. Maybe they're missing their keys.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something missing because it just doesn't look right. Like, it just doesn't look right. They're either too close in the box, bad angles, right? They're behind. The guys are getting behind them. There's something missing. So I don't think it's just the player stinks. Like, we can right now say Tay Banks stinks.
Yeah.
I don't think Nubin stinks. In fact, what a great conversation we just had about Tyler Nubin. Like, if this guy could figure it out, he's a captain in the making, because he's really strong in the locker room. And, I love that. He's mature, past his age, but I guarantee another coach gets more out of him. And there's something missing.
Yeah, I'm there with you, Craig. I mean, for me, I do think that Tyler Nubin is playing bad right now. I think that he's taking bad angles. I don't know if he's not playing fast. I don't know if he's lacking quickness in his game. I mean, I look at that Saquon touchdown and, you see his feet freeze, while also taking a bad angle, and then Saquon takes it to the house. But I do agree with what you're saying, because even though Tyler Nubin has not been playing good this year, you look at how he played in college, and I still think that player is there. He's only in his second year, and I'm a little bit of a hypocrite because I was just on here last week saying I'm off of the Theo Johnson train, and he's in his second year as well. But, for me, it's like with Tyler Nubin, it's like I am patient with Tyler Nubin. I do think that the talent is there. I think that potentially with a different defensive coordinator, in a different scheme, he could be a solid player. Like you said, Craig, I could see him being a captain. But if by next year, obviously, let's say by this time next year, if we're still having these conversations, I mean, we're looking at that draft class completely different, because that was something that a lot of people hung their hat on when it came with Joe Shane, was that specific draft class. You're able to get Tyler Nubin. You are able to get a Malik Neighbors. You look at some of the other players he's been able to get, but right now it's not looking all too strong. That's just me, but I'm always open to being wrong.
Well, here's the thing too. Listen, yes, throughout the majority of the year, Nubin has had bad angles, which again is on him, is on the coach. But let's be realistic. One-on-one, how many players has Saquon Barkley made miss? He's play, right? So I'm not going to kill him for not making a tackle on Saquon Barkley when veterans who are really good players miss Saquon Barkley in open field too. So let's be realistic with that, right? Like, come on. But that's not excusing the other ones that he did. I'm just saying on that play, let's be realistic. I'm not going to fault him. I'm going to fault the scheme on that play. I'm going to fault that Dexter Lawrence was not over the nose when he was over nose the first play of the game and they had all kinds of pressure. I'm going to fault the alignments, because that comes from the defensive coordinator, where they're aligning, how they're aligning, all those things that are happening. That's all on the DC. But I'll fault Nubin for other things, but I'm not faulting him for missing Saquon Barkley. Let's be realistic.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I mean,
not you. I'm just saying in general. Like, we got people saying, I mean, good God. Tell me one-on-one, how many players Saquon Barkley has made miss him in the open field like that. Yeah. Tyler Nubin ain't the only one. He ain't the only one.
He won't be the last either.
Would you guys like to hear an update from Cam Skattebo?
Talk to me. Yeah, I'd love it.
Sure.
Okay. This is his update from 3 hours ago. He posted this on his socials. Thank you, everyone, for the support. Surgery went well. I just wanted to thank the city of Philadelphia for taking the best care of me. Every moment I spent in the hospital with family and friends, I felt loved and supported in every way. Thanks to the doctors, the surgeons, and the staff that did their best work on me. This is just the beginning of my journey. I can't wait to show you guys all about it. God has a plan for me. Stick the course, and it will always work itself out. BRB. Looks like a salute and an F and LFG.
All right. That's the guy. He can make it back. If anybody can, he can make it back.
Yep. That was from 5:30 this afternoon.
And how encouraging is it? Ryan has that report that says he can be back for the start of training camp.
I mean, very encouraging. I mean, thankfully, it wasn't more serious than what it could have been, because that looked like a gruesome injury, man.
It's just sad, man, because
it is.
I said it once, I said it twice, I'll say it again. We can't have anything nice.
No, we can't. I mean, it's nothing new. It's nothing new.
I mean, think about this. Honestly, we lost in 1 year our arguably our two best players, and then
on offense,
on offense, and then our best player is either hurt or somehow checked out of the on Dexter. You lost the best middle linebacker with McFadden. Then you lose both. I mean, it's just this weird thing. And sometimes you say, damn, like what happens? We just need a little bit of luck here. And we ain't.
And then we lose flat because he gets a concussion by Bobby O. Bobby O punched him in the face trying to go for the ball. It's like the Keystone Cops with that stuff. Like, that's just fluke stuff that happens, right? So
it is.
It's crazy. It's something we need to exercise the demons. We need to do something because man, oh man, it's just crazy. Like the last 10 years, the amount of injuries, the players we lose. It's not the turf anymore because it's a brand new turf. This happened on grass. Like, just maybe it's a new stadium. Maybe it's MetLife because MetLife looks like a giant air conditioner.
Yeah,
and maybe it's because we share the stadium with the Jets.
We just lost Skattebo on Philadelphia's beautiful Lincoln Financial Field grass.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
It's crazy. Something needs to change. I don't know what, but something needs to change to turn this around. We got any other questions, or was that the last question?
Oh no, we got some more. Actually, my man Sean, this is directly to you. So I would love to hear your
me. This ought to be fun.
James Williams says, "Hey Joker, why does your boy Theo keep dropping passes like Slayton?"
I'm going to tell you why. Because he's number one. He's in year two, like you said earlier, right? He's made some really good catches, though. Let's not forget about that. But here's why: he's still developing. He's not a good catcher. He doesn't have good hands right now. But he doesn't have hands like Slayton. And number two, he wasn't used at Penn State as a pass catching tight end. So he's got to develop, and he's getting better every single game. He had one drop in that game, and the reason he had that drop,
you are right.
The only reason he had that drop was because he didn't have his hands in the right position to make the catch. And let's be realistic. It was a tough catch in between two defenders on the sideline, but he has to get his hands in the right position. Here's the other thing. It is a league-wide problem that players don't know how to catch the ball with their hands, how to position their hands the right way. And so Theo is a victim of it. So he's developing. He's not even through his second year. Look at the catch he made in Denver off the deflection. That's not an easy catch at all. And he made that catch and he took it to the house, right? So yeah, he's going to have some drops here and there, but it is what it is. Who I don't make excuses for cold is guys who have been here longer. Darius Slayton is a 6-year vet. 6-year vet, and still dropping passes, still not doing anything. We're being hard on a guy who's his second year who wasn't used as a pass catcher and is being developed into a pass catcher here. Have some patience. Remember how many people gave up on Flott and said he couldn't be an NFL cornerback? How many people gave up on him early? Why do we give up on players so goddamn early? Why?
Well,
I'm fired up. I am fired up. Holy cow.
Hey,
Well,
Somebody
how
else
about
better talk right now.
we give up on players for a couple of reasons. For one is we see players of the same quality caliber step right in and do it. I'm not saying that's the only answer, but we'll watch a guy get drafted in the same class, around the same pick, played just as well in college, and go out and do it. So you always ask yourself, why can that guy do it but not that guy, right? Then you get the guy who you give up on, who shows it sometimes, but not the other times, right? So you're like, wait a minute, you're already showing me you can do it. It's my rub on Tibbs. Tibbs could be freaking, TJ Watt if he wanted to be, but he's not. You know what I mean? Because he only shows up 50% of the time. Now, the 50% that he shows up is damn good. So you want more of it. So it's not that people now, the Theo is very true, is that if you're really a stickler for player development, and I'm hard on Theo because he can't block. It's just not something he can do. And Sean tells you he can, and it don't matter. He cannot block.
He misses blocks here and there.
Right.
Everybody does. Remember how bad Bellinger was blocking last year?
No, I never believed he was a bad blocker. I never did. But
You never believed Bellinger was a bad blocker?
I didn't. No, I did not. But
He was awful.
no,
That's why he wasn't playing as much.
Again, as Chris is going to say, he likes when we do this back and forth. Those are just your opinions, or he wouldn't be on the team. I mean, because they don't throw him the ball. So if he can't block, he wouldn't be here. So he can block and he can catch. That's why he's here. However, I'm supporting your theory because if you look at Penn State, I mean, they threw to him like 40 times over 2 years. Like they don't throw the dude the ball. So he has a lot of kind of his curve is going to be a little bit longer than we'd like because we don't have weapons. We need him to be great now, but he's not because he needs time to grow. So in his defense, and to Sean's point, we got to let Theo grow. The problem is that the New York Giants throw him the ball like he is a, George Kittle, right? It should be the other way around. Throw Bellinger the ball and then slowly work Theo in. They gave Theo the starting job like he was George Kittle, and he's not. That's the problem, is that we are now dependent upon Theo to be a stud tight end, and he's not there yet. He's more of a developmental guy. He needs to come along slowly, get more targets, more catches, and get good at hand placement and blocking. But because we're so thin on the offense from a star caliber or a player, right, a high quality player on offense, right, what do? We depend on a guy who's not ready. I mean, that's not killing him. That's supporting him. He's going to get there.
And when he drops, it doesn't let him affect the rest of the game. He comes back and makes a big catch. Like he had other big catches yesterday. It's not like he's dropping like every pass thrown to him. He's not dropping every pass thrown to him. No. He's had what, 5 or 6 drops this year, but he's also what, second in the team or first in the team in touchdowns?
Oh yeah, again, I don't think anybody's saying he don't got skill. I think I'm supporting your theory.
No, I know you. I'm talking about other people that are out there. No. And I know James, who's kind of my guy too. We should give up on Slayton because he's year 7. Like year 7 compared to year 2, you are what you are. Year 2, you have to develop. Bottom line.
If Shane, listen, it's fine. If Slayton's on the team and he's your number 3, it's the same. Again, sometimes I get through halfway through this show and then I realize like sometimes that the problem that I didn't think was a problem is a problem because I'm like, Shane didn't do anything to get a number 2 and they forced Slayton into a role that's not him. I mean, no, I'm not defending. I actually like Darius Slayton, right? But as a person, I like him on the field. I like him as a captain. But dude's not a number 2. You're forcing him to be a number 2 because you didn't go get T. Higgins, right? It's the same thing we're doing right now. Corey Black shouldn't be on the damn field. I mean, literally, Sean, like on his worst day, I'll take Gilmore right now just for the experience. Guys, sign a defensive back. I mean, come on.
Here's the thing. You sign him and then put him on the field. What did you expect? And he wasn't in bad position on that touchdown play. I think he got a hand on it. He got a hand. So he makes more effort than Deontay Banks make. I mean, and listen, I know somebody mentioned about Ray McLeod over there. Well, Ray McLeod was going to play this week because he was just signed. He didn't have enough time to learn the offense and get out there. Maybe he plays this week. Who knows? But is there another question? How are we doing on time here, Maestro?
Yeah, we got two more
7 minutes.
questions real quick. I just
Okay.
want to give a quick shout out to the people in the chat because we have a lot of people in here. So I just want to give a quick shout out to you guys, G Nation Inside Sports, fellow Giants content creator. We got Coach Ed Gladney. I actually just did a video with him about a week ago. One of the smartest people I know when it comes with football. Mark Thompson, Two Giant Goofballs. We got Real Cold G. BKS. I mean, we have a lot of people.
Yeah,
James
Joe
Williams.
Clark's in the room.
Yeah, there's a ton of
Kevin
people in here.
McWalters.
Yeah, Mark
Nice
B's
to have
in the
another.
room.
We got the Italian side, the Irish side of me. So we got both going here. We got the Italians in here. We got the Irish in here.
187 of you folks dipping in and hanging out with us tonight. So we appreciate
That's
it,
awesome.
man. And
Absolutely.
listen, we're going to hit a couple questions and we're going to roll. We got 7 minutes left. We'll hit a couple more. Sorry about my audio earlier. I don't know what happened. Something with StreamYard, but appreciate you guys holding down the fort for me. And again, as always, nygiantsrush.com. It's got plenty of articles and the interviews. Guys, like it, favorite, tell your friends. We're trying to grow this thing up, right? We're trying to get Christians banging out great new creative. We got Ryan Dunleavy for you guys every Monday. So, hey, look, if you're part of the Rush fam, tell a friend to tell a friend, right? Get us out there. Help us grow this thing, right? So we can do some cool stuff, right?
Sure. Here, I got another question here. Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, continue.
No, shoot it. No, shoot it. Let's take them.
Yep. James Williams says, "Why don't we just draft a catching tight end?" Oh wait, we had one and he sucked here, but now he's good.
Yep.
Ingram.
I'll be.
He's not good anymore either. He's not doing anything in Denver.
No, and by the way, Sean, you'll agree that tight ends are my jam, right? So, listen, this is super easy for you, James. You ready? They drafted Bellinger. He was on his way to having a stellar rookie year when the linebacker from Jacksonville poked his eye socket out and broke the orbital bone in his face, right? The guy was tough enough to get a plate put in his face and come back in the season and play. And ever since that moment, they've been trying to replace him. They brought in, what's his name? The old Vikings tight end.
Not Rhett Ellison. You're talking about
No, that wasn't.
That was
Kyle Rudolph.
Kyle Rudolph. They brought in Waller. You know what I mean? They drafted
Waller.
Theo. They've been trying to replace Bellinger for no reason. He is a pass catching tight end. Go look at his numbers. He catches everything they throw at him.
Great hand.
He's actually pretty good at yak, right? He's an improved blocker. They just listen. Him and Theo together could be a dynamic duo. What, Sean? What happens when we throw the ball at a tight end that works? What does Kafka do?
He goes away from it.
There you go. There's your answer, James. We don't have pass catching tight ends because the offensive coordinator doesn't throw to the tight end, not the other way around. These guys can catch the ball.
Well, he'll throw a tight end screen to him because he loves doing that.
And I got a pretty cool stat for you guys as well. And when it comes to these tight ends, Theo and Daniel Bellinger are one of two pairs of tight ends in the NFL currently that have 170 plus receiving yards each. So, I mean, take that for what you will, but they're productive. And do I think that Theo Johnson will come along as time goes on? Absolutely. But I've always thought that the tight end one was Daniel Bellinger. And like you said, Craig, they have done everything that they can to replace Daniel Bellinger and add what they feel is a tight end one. And each addition that they made consequently has backfired on them. Waller, I mean, dealt with injuries. You can name a player and it just did not work out. And Theo has persevered and has overcame those hurdles. I mean, he should have had 2 touchdowns against that Denver Broncos defense. I mean, he had himself a stellar performance, and so did Theo, don't get me wrong. But I do think going forward, we will see Daniel Bellinger getting some more snaps. There is one player.
Why do we have to hate one and love another? Why can't we love them both? Why can't we love Bellinger and Theo?
I think that's fair.
We don't have to put one down to build up the other. Like I talk about Theo, but I love Bellinger too. Bellinger's great. Bellinger and Theo together are great. Like that's the whole. Theo's got this. You just got to develop Theo a bit more. The guys like he can be really freaking good. Right.
By the way,
that's what I'm saying. Give him the Bellinger and Theo.
While I was banished into the corner with no audio, I pulled up my Instagram. For all you folks out there that are on Instagram, we have an Instagram account. We don't use it too much. I really should do a better job posting there. I'm going to start posting the shorts that Chris makes for us. But there's a really cool Giants account called NY Giants 360. I really like what they put up there. If you guys get a chance, there is a picture of Lane, not a picture, there is a video of Lane Johnson. When I say mugging Abdul Carter, it's like this, full armbar around his throat and a takedown with no penalty. I mean, like, it's just absurd what happened this weekend. I can't get past it because how are they? Okay, you know what? I'm going to sum up Sunday. Because look, we all want to fire Daves, keep Daves, all this stuff that we debate on. Here's the thing. If you guys are listening, how does anyone evaluate the New York Giants when they are consistently having this stuff happen to them? The injuries, the penalties that are ignored. Like, I have no idea who's good and who isn't. I have no idea. All I keep thinking is we went toe-to-toe with Dallas, toe-to-toe with the Broncos, toe-to-toe with the Eagles in a win. Like, the Giants are vastly improved, but they have nothing to show for it because they're not one of the in teams. They're not one of these teams that get the break. And if you don't believe that, okay, you want to go conspiracy, why do the New York Giants with 3 wins have the hardest schedule in the NFL? Sean, answer me that.
I have no idea. Makes zero sense.
Christian.
You got the wrong person because I couldn't tell you.
So nobody can, guys. Nobody can. New York Giants have the hardest schedule in the NFL with a 3-win team. The things that go on, like it's like the league doesn't want the Giants to be well. So, like, it's really tough to evaluate this team. I can tell you the players that won't be here next year or don't contribute, but man, it's hard to evaluate this team.
It's very hard to evaluate this team. There are certain players to me that obviously, stick out. And I do think that will be key foundational pieces going forward. But to me, I think it's a mixture of a lot of things. It's players playing out of place. Obviously, I think coaching is a factor into it. But I also think that right now, what we do lack is quality depth in certain positions. Because you're right. I mean, we're talking about why the Giants should, go out there and trade for a wide receiver too. When they spent a second on Wandale, they re-signed Darius Slayton. They spent a 3rd round pick, I believe, on Jalen Hyatt. They've made additions, but those additions have not came to fruition. At least in my opinion, they haven't. And ultimately, I think that falls on this coaching staff. It falls on Joe Shane as well. And now they're in a position where they're scrambling around to see what player they can get to come in here potentially to help with Jackson Dart's development, because the players that they drafted haven't came to fruition in the way that they thought that they would. And honestly, I'm going to call it now. I mean, you guys can clip this up, but I would not be surprised if this regime comes back next year and they take another tight end early. I'm just throwing it out there right now. I would not be shocked if that's what they do.
There's no way.
No way. You drafted Fedone, who at late.
I don't put it past this organization, man.
Yeah,
I really don't.
I don't think they'll draft I wouldn't put it past them not to draft a wide receiver.
I'll see them doing both.
Listen, the fact that I get, and I know Ryan talked about how, part of the reason why Slayton's back is because he knows the offense and the complicated loss. Well, here's my feeling: if the offense is that damn complicated, then let's get one that's not. Because if we're bringing back players of that quality, then I want something different. Like the fact that you re-signed Darius Slayton and bring him back, I didn't want him back for a number of reasons. He doesn't have good hands. Yes, I know. He's a vet presence. He's all those things. He doesn't have the fire. He doesn't have the motion. He doesn't have, and all he's known is losing here. If he goes to another team and balls out, so be it. Because he ain't balling out here. I'm just.
Yeah,
man.
But Slayton's not the issue. Slayton is not the issue.
No, he's not but he's part of the issue. He's part of the issue because you sign him back to be your number 2.
Oh yeah, that's but that's not Slayton's fault.
And you don't. No, it's not. I'm not saying it's Slayton's fault. What I blame Slayton for is not being a better receiver. I'm blaming Slayton for not getting open more. I'm blaming Slayton for the things. No fire, no passion.
The guy to do things he can't do, and the organization didn't realize that. Right?
Wait a minute. Hold on. We're making excuses for Slayton, who's in year 7, but we're not making.
I'm just saying he's
excuses for Theo, who's in year 2.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah,
I knew that was coming.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, what we're saying is that Shane didn't bring in a 2.
I'm agreeing with that. That's what I'm saying. He re-signed Slayton. He shouldn't have re-signed Slayton. They should have brought in a legit number 2.
The bigger issue is what we started the show with, and it won't change because we're giving up 32 points a game. Okay, like it don't even matter if we had a number 2. We can't get off the field on 3rd down. We can't stop.
The defense cost us 3 games. The defense cost us 3 games.
Yeah.
As much as I want Bowen gone, the defense has cost us 3 games. If we have a number 2, if we have better offensive production and other games, we win other games. So yes, as much as I want Shane Bowen gone, the defense is not the reason why we're 2-6. They're accounting for 3 gone. Like Denver and Dallas for sure is why we lost those games is because of the defense. Philadelphia, yeah, they gave up the runs, they did the things. So okay, I'll put Philly on them. That's 3 games. We've played we've played 8 games. We've played 8 games. We legit had a shot to win just about every single game we were in, unless I'm mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
And only 3 of those games are due to the defense. So who's the other 5 games on?
I think it's a lack. Oh, sorry, what you said?
No, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think it's both parts because we've seen games where the offense has stepped up and the defense hasn't. And then we've seen games where the offense was flat and the defense showed up. So it's like, how many games can we really look at this year where we can confidently say, I don't know if my stuff is lagging, but we can confidently say that this team played complementary football? Because the one that really sticks out to me is the last Philly game where it seemed like every facet of the team played up to par. The offense played good. Special teams was good. Defense was good. There was, even when it comes with play calling, the play calling was good. But it seems like each game, one facet of this team is not living up to where they should be from a week-to-week basis. And I mean, it's got to fall on someone. And again, I don't think this is on one player. This isn't on one coach. I think it's a collective effort. But I do think that it's a summary of this regime. It's inconsistency. It is just flat out inconsistency from what we've seen from this New York Giants team. I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
I was saying, but that's the thing. It's been this way for the last 10, 11 plus years. So we keep saying this regime. It's been previous regimes before that too.
Yeah, like I know, but we haven't. We can't go there anymore. We finally got a quarterback.
I know we can't. I get it. We got a quarterback now, but we got to. There's other things that have to change too, or it won't change regardless of quarterback.
I'm looking at this now. Like, right. So first of all, Dart doesn't start to game 3, right? Against Kansas City, or is it the Chargers?
It was Chargers, I think.
So the first 3 games are Russ. So like, I mean, the defense gave up 21 points versus Washington. They gave up 40 points to Dallas.
Yeah, hold on, 21 points. Right, 21 points. That's not on the defense.
It's not.
You give up 21 points, you should be able to win an NFL football game, Craig.
But that's not necessarily
to
true.
Washington, who's a high-powered offense with Jay and Daniels. They gave up 21 points.
I guess so, but I mean, you give up 40 points, you give up 22 points, 26 points, 34 points, 33 points, 38 points. It's the defense.
Yeah, but remember, there was also some of those points were turnovers where they got field position. Yes, the defense. We're not 2-6 because of the defense. We're not 2-6 because of the defense alone.
We are majority. We are 60%.
3 games are on the defense. Because let's also remember they shut out the Denver Broncos for 3 quarters and blew it in the end. So I'm giving that the loss on that. But they did what they did to Philly. They shut out the Saints or they gave up in back-to-back games. They gave up 3 points in the second half. Yes, the defense is attributed to 3 losses this year. Out of 8 games, they have attributed to 3 losses.
They gave up 26 points to the Saints.
Yeah. Yeah. And how many did we score? How many did we score? We had 5 turnovers.
We had 5 turnovers.
Dude, you got to get off the field.
Craig.
No, I hear what Craig is saying.
One of those fumble recovery for a touchdown, if I'm mistaken, or the fumble happened like in the Saints red zone. Like they turned the ball over 5 times in a row. That's not on the defense. in the Saints game.
You got to get off the field, dude. You got to get off
It's
the
not
field.
that they weren't off the – Craig, they turned the ball over 5 times in a row.
That's one game.
That's not stopping them. They turned it over 5 times in a row, and Skattebo fumbled inside the 10-yard line.
I got it,
if I'm not mistaken.
But there's no way that these 6 losses. I mean, if you want to chalk up the first 2,
all 6 losses are not on the defense. All 6 losses are not on the defense.
No, but
I want Shane Bowen fired. Let me be clear about that.
4 of them definitely 100%.
3 of them are on the defense. 3 of them are on the defense.
So to play a little devil's advocate, because I do think that, like you're saying, Sean, there are 3 games that we can look at and be like, yeah, the defense did not show up. The Giants, should have won these games had the defense showed up. But then the flip side is you can look at the Commanders game, you can look at the Saints game, you can look at, even this last Philly game, where it's like the offense. You see moments where they're looking up to par, but the offense looks flat. The play calling isn't that great either. So I that's why I said, for me, like, when I look at this team, it's not just, this one position or this one side of the ball is bad. Right. I mean, I think it's an overall collective where it's like like Mark Thompson says here, he says, we've been scoring 30 points without Malik Neighbors except for the last game. Very true. Yes, we have. But this is the thing. We haven't seen it consistently. We have not seen this offense live up to like what we saw against Philly or against the oh my God, my mind is blanking right now, against the Denver Broncos, where we're coming out firing. I do think now, hopefully, because I think Philly was just the better team. They were down some players a couple weeks ago that are difference makers. They are a better team than what the Giants are.
We're down AJ Brown and Cam Jurgens this game.
Yes, but you insert Lander Dickerson, you insert Quinyon Mitchell, Jalen Carter. To me personally, those players have more value than AJ Brown, because it didn't look like that offense missed a beat with AJ Brown not being in the lineup. But Jalen Carter had a sack. The interior of their offensive line, which we played fairly well against 2 weeks ago, has Lander Dickerson back, who he's no slouch either. And then obviously you have Dexter playing out of position too. But they had players come back, and ultimately no one can convince me on this panel or in the comments that they did not take that loss personally. And rightfully so.
They did.
I mean, because they got belt to ass, Giants fans, the media. I mean, for what? Like, it felt like almost 2 weeks I kept seeing that Cam Skattebo run over Zach Bond. You don't think they were playing that or playing Cam Skattebo ripping off his T-shirt, doing the woo after, or seeing how fans were talking online? Like, they took that personal. And understandably, now, obviously, we'll see them next year. The Giants have 2 more division games between Washington, and then they end the year off with Dallas. But I do think ultimately we just need to see more consistent complementary football with this team. Is that going to be with Brian Dable? I don't think so. I hope.
I don't have faith in anyone. I don't have faith in anyone at this point. We've had one game, like you said, the Philly game. The first Philly game was the only game where all 3 phases played well. Other than that, it's been crap. Because the offense is bad. And listen, this offense is predicated on Cam Skattebo and Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart making breakaway plays. It's not play calling. It's not scheming. And that Washington game, this is how bad it was. You want to talk about Russ? They ran the same play the very first play of the game, the very first play of the second half. All they did was just switch sides.
Yeah, I mean,
zero creativity, nothing.
It's all facets, because even with that Washington game, offensively, they weren't getting it done. But defensively, I mean, my expectations were higher for the defense going into this year. And now it's like, this defense is good. And there's injuries on this team. But
you can't do nothing without McFadden, Adebo, Flott, right? Holland.
Right.
Sure.
They're banged up. Either way, we gotta wrap this. Let's wrap this puppy up, right?
Yes. Can I just play something real quick before?
Yes, you can. Please do.
No, you can't. Yeah.
This was, in my honest opinion, I know that he got called for this, but this is not the first time that I've seen this. This is not going to be the last time that we'll see this. Craig, Sean, what in the bloody hell is this?
Speed off the edge on Abdul Carter. Lane just couldn't get the good initial kick step.
Are we playing football, or is this SmackDown versus Raw? Like, what are we
He
doing?
was doing it all game. He was doing a lot that game. He doesn't get called for it.
Hey,
It's crazy.
but he's not the only tackle that I've seen do that on Abdul Carter. And I had shout out to Kyle Tony Goat Romo. He's one of my good friends. He's a Dallas Cowboys content creator. He told me right when Abdul Carter got drafted, he said, "Watch, you're going to see the treatment that Micah Parsons gets." And I was like, "Oh yeah, because of how the offensive line's gonna have to make adjustments." He's like, "No. Micah Parsons gets held damn near every. I'm not gonna say what he said. Every effing play." He's like, and they hardly get called. He's like, "I'm just telling you to be prepared." And I kind of brushed it off. I was like, yeah, we got Dexter Lawrence, we got Brian Burns, Kayvon. Abdul will be fine. That brother was right. I have not seen a player next to Micah Parsons get held the way that Abdul Carter gets held, and that shit not get called. And it's frustrating because then you have fans that you could clearly tell are not watching the games, being like, "This is a 3rd overall pick. He has half a sack. This is the player that you're touting your chest over." And it's like,
you heard me say it before. How in the world, if the guy is number 1 in the NFL with the quickest speed to the quarterback and the most pressures in the NFL, or top 3 pressures in the NFL, and he has no sacks because the defensive coordinator can't scheme him clean? He's not running stunts. He's basically running one-on-one to the offense's best left tackle in the game. And they're mugging the hell out of him, almost to the point where it's like, you know what? Welcome to the NFL. We're going to let this happen.
Yeah.
By the way, I got to put this up here because this is annoying. So
yeah, I
annoying.
know. Yeah, I know.
I'm annoyed now. I'm annoyed now.
It's a troll.
we can't end the stream on a bad note.
Well, I mean, maybe Derek's got to get a grip that the Giants overvalue their players. Jackson Dart ain't done nothing. You guys already have him all pro. Like,
hold on, wait. Can I say something really quick?
Please do, because I'm like,
hold on. I just want to
be a Giants fan.
I want to say 2 things really quick. I want to say 2 things. Number 1, Derek, I could tell maybe you don't follow me on social media, but I was one of the leaders in the draft Shador camp. Every single day until the draft participated, I uploaded Shador highlights, Shador clips that I made, why the Giants should take Shador. I even went as far as, and I had someone send me this recently. I'm going to see if I can find it so I can maybe put it on here. I had tweeted, I said, if the Giants take Jackson Dart, they're going to need a new stadium when I'm done with them. He's made me eat crow. And I see, you're defending Daniel Jones, who's having a good year. He is having a good year. But he's went through how many head coaches? How many offensive coordinators? With the New York Giants team? So it's like, for me,
look, man, I'm guessing this cat's not a Giant fan because of a couple reasons. First thing is this. All right, and Sean, you got my back on this. I know a lot about Dart, watching Ole Miss football. I've been on it since he was at USC and he left. And I'll tell you that it's pretty simple if you're a football guy, if you know football, that the system that Dabes runs, the system that had Beasley and McKenzie and Knox, is a completely different system that they run in Indianapolis, right? He's a point A to point B guy. Every sack that you see Dart step out of is a sack for Jones, not because one's better than the other. Jones doesn't work in this system. So no one's turning on Dart or no one's turning on anybody, right? Dart works in this system, right? What has he done? He's energized the fan base, dude. Like, get a grip. Right. The guy's energized the fan base. He's literally what is it here? 33, 20 points, 32 points, 34 points, 14 points, 21 points. He's doing it with the worst wide receiving group in the NFL. Okay.
And I was one, Craig, you and I argued all the time. I said I wanted Shador over Dart. We had all offseason, all before draft. I have now said Dart is our franchise quarterback.
The guy is good, dude. And listen, and so, you know what? Good. Daniel Jones is a good quarterback, but not in Dable's system. That's it.
Daniel Jones wasn't cut out for New York.
He can't see left and right. He is not a horizontal guy. He can't see the full field of the field. Then if he does see it, he can't pull the trigger. The offense is perfect for him. Downfield, vertical. It's perfect for him with an unbelievable back in the backfield and a good offensive line. Okay? Right. This is not what is in New York.
Weapons galore.
Yeah. There's no weapons for the New York Giants. Nothing. Right. So there's so you know what, man? Like, no offense. I'm sure you're a good dude. You got to step off with that. Like, because it's like there's nobody gonna turn on the guy. If the guy doesn't make it, it's because he got his brow beat in, right? The guy,
Or he just
ability.
shits the bed somehow, which I don't see happening, and that's why we turn on
No.
players who aren't good.
But
That's what
again-
it is.
Again,
6
like,
years of our
yes.
former quarterback.
Yeah, like
And I
the-
gave a lot of excuses to Daniel Jones too, and that's just me,
Yeah, I
you
do
know.
too.
And I don't want
I'm
to.
tired of talking about Daniel
Yeah,
Jones.
I was gonna
Why-
say I don't want to keep talking about it because he's not even.
Yeah,
on
who
that's
in
right
the
there,
right would
you.
say we want Shador?
But-
The guy, I mean, come on, man, with that. Get
Yeah.
away with it. I mean,
I just want to say this real quick, and then I'll let you finish, Greg. If anything, for me, what has really stuck out when it comes with Mr. Jones is that coaching and situations do matter. Look at Sam Darnold. Look at Baker Mayfield. Look at, insert quarterback who has left their, regime that drafted them, went into a system in an area that benefited them. And coaching does matter. It's a players' league, but I also think it's a coaches' league as well. Because you look at Sam Darnold. Let me just stick with Sam Darnold specifically, and then I'll go to Jones. Both Jones and Sam Darnold, when they went to their respective teams that they're at now, both highlighted the importance of going to the Vikings, what they learned, how to approach the game, how to approach studying their playbooks. It's a difference maker. I mean, and I think as much as I love Brian Daboll, I do think that Kevin O'Connell is a better coach. I'm not too sure about Shane Steichen. I'm not. I think anybody that's not named Anthony Richardson could have had somewhat of success over there in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
But
people say that Kevin O'Connell, but what's Kevin O'Connell done? He's won just as many playoff games, or actually, has he won a playoff game yet, Kevin O'Connell? With a far more talented roster?
I believe he's lost more than he's won, but I
don't think he's won a playoff game, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think
I'm trying to think. I'll get back to you on that. But the reason why I do lean towards Kevin O'Connell is just because I like his development when it comes to quarterbacks. I like some of the concepts that he has his wide receivers run, where you look at players out there just against Philadelphia where no one is getting open. Granted, we have a terrible wide receiver.
Who's calling the plays? Who's calling the plays?
Mike Kafka. But it is Brian.
When Daboll was calling plays last year, how many guys were open?
It was better.
I mean, but they also have Malik Neighbors too. Let's not get that twisted.
And Minnesota has Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison.
Yeah,
sorry. Nobody will
understand.
convince me. Nobody will convince me that Kevin O'Connell is a better coach than Brian Daboll.
I'm going to close the show out with this one because again, it's stuff under my skin now. Right? Giants fans overvalue their players. So let me ask you, Christian, is Malik Neighbors overvalued by any chance?
I don't think Malik Neighbors is. I do think, I'm not going to play devil's advocate, but I do think there are certain players that do get overvalued. But as a whole, no, I completely disagree. I think that the players that we rate highly are ranked where they should be. Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Malik Neighbors. Jackson Dart is leading the run for Offensive Rookie of the Year. And I understand Ibuka got hurt for like 2 weeks, but Jackson Dart is playing at a level that really – what's the word? Oh my God, I can't think of the word right now. When you look at it from a numbers perspective, film perspective, it rivals I'm not going to say Jaden Daniels because obviously that was an anomaly, but I look at CJ Stroud. I look at, players, Baker Mayfield, Justin Herbert's rookie year. It's fairly close to those rookie years. Maybe not in terms of the win column, but in terms of them leading the offense.
Numbers. He's done something that no other NFL quarterback has done in his first 8 games or last 4 and whatever it was. The yards rushing, the yards passing, the touchdowns. And I forget what it is. I'll have to pull it up or look for it. But he's done something that no other NFL quarterback has done his rookie year. No NFL quarterback. He's the first to do it.
We're the first people to tell you, like, yo, throw a name at me. And I'll tell you right now, we have very limited superstars on this team. Last year, we had no superstars on this team. The year before, we had no superstars on this team. Like, I don't know who's over-evaluating anyone. I hate stuff like that because no one thinks that JMS, Runyon, Van Roten are stars. No one thinks that Adebo is the best corner in the league. No one thinks that Flott is going to be a 5-time Pro Bowler. No one's saying any of that. The only thing we are saying is Dart and Skattebo re-energized this offense, that we've got 2 decent pass-catching tight ends. We've got a dynamic front four with front seven, but our best off defensive players checked out right now, whether it's injury or tired of losing. No one's over-evaluated anyone on this team. I don't even know where that comment would come from. Has anyone said that Holland was going to have 10 picks? No. Did anyone say that Debo was going to come back and be a shutdown corner? No. Did anyone say that Bobby Okereke was going to have 150 tackles? No. No one said anything. The only players that we have that are worth over-evaluating would be Jackson Dart, Cam Skattebo, Malik Neighbors, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, and
Andrew Thomas as well.
And Andrew Thomas. And if you want to maybe throw in a Luminor because the guy's had a great 2 years, no one's over-evaluating anyone. So, like, you can just pound sand.
But I think the players that do fall into that category, again, like, they fit the right ranking. I mean, find me a left tackle playing better than Andrew Thomas right now.
Nobody.
You're going to struggle finding one, and I'll wait.
Nobody.
We'll have all the time in the world. I will wait because you're not going to find one. At the time with Dexter Lawrence, he's not having a good year this year, but last year you would be very hard pressed to find another defensive tackle that rivaled not just his production, but the tape as well. I mean, he's getting compared to Chris Jones, and then there's a wide gap. They're trying to sneak in Jalen Carter, and as great as he is, he's not a Dexter Lawrence.
Nope.
So it's like, I do think, and then Malik Neighbors is a top 5, in my opinion. He's a top 5 wide receiver, at worst, a top 10. So it's like, I think certain positions, when people see fans hyping them up, I've always chalked it up to they're hyping up these players because they're better than what we had, right? Paulson Adebo is better than what we had at starting cornerback last year next to Deontay Banks. Javon Holland is better than what we had last year starting at safety compared to what we had last year. Same thing with Jermaine Illuminor. The Giants have been struggling to find a right tackle for over 10 years. So, of course, fans are going to pump up their players when they're saying, hey, at this specific position, we've been terrible at this for a decade. We now have someone there. So I think that's where it gets misconstrued, where people outside of the fan base are like, you're overvaluating your players. And if you think that it's only Giants fans doing that, I'm sorry, Craig. I'm sorry, Sean. I don't mean to be taking your fire here. But if you think that it's only Giants fans that hype up their players, I'm sorry, but you still have Broncos fans saying that Nick Benito's defensive player of the year, and it's been 3 weeks and he's still at 8 sacks. He's still at 8 sacks. He hasn't gone up, but that's the defensive player of the year, right? Meanwhile, Brian Burns got 10, should be 11 sacks. But
I'll say it again, Derek. You can pound sand, dude. On that note, I'm going to wrap this puppy up. We'll see you guys next Monday. And hey, and for the record, Malik Neighbors, if he don't get injured, this team's got 4 wins. I'm on record saying that this is a 4-win team, maybe even a 5-win team with Malik Neighbors. We are running on fumes with wide receivers and cornerbacks that can't start for another team in the NFL. So you know what? We're not happy about 2 wins, but this team is dramatically better than it was. We got flaws just like everybody else does. But you know what? All I know is we just lost our starting running back. We lost our starting wide receiver, and our starting defensive tackle, which is the best D tackle in the game, is not playing where he should be. So you know what? It is what it is. We are what we are right now. But I know for a fact that this team is definitely not, the 2023, the 2024 team. It's just not.
They're not. And I'll say this much, and I know we can end it off here. I mean, in terms of depth, in terms of players that are on this team, I mean, we're close to, and the chat, I mean, not the chat, but the panel knows here because I've said this. We are close to having Sean suit up at wide receiver and then putting my fat ass next to Dexter Lawrence on the field. That's where we're sitting at right now.
Yeah. So, and if I gotta go, and if I gotta go out there and play for Holland, I'm gonna blow an ACL just looking at it.
Jeez. We don't want to see that, man.
No, man, my safety days are long over. Though I might be able to run a little slot now and then because I had a 2-year stint in college at some slots, so I can catch some passes, but I'm only good for about 2 routes every 30 minutes. That's it.
I think you would do a good job yelling at players and coaches the way that Brian Dable does. I think you would be a good enforcer.
Yo, let me tell you, my first 2 years, I was a pretty damn good slot receiver. Not very fast in college. especially when I saw Wayne Corbett play, because Hofstra used to be a D3 school. And when I saw Wayne Corbett, I was like, that's the fastest white dude I'd ever seen. I was like, damn, okay, I thought I was decent. No, I'm not good. That guy's good.
Yeah. No, I believe
and
me,
for you, I'm an old head. I'm an old head. If you don't know who Wayne Corbett is, he went to Hofstra. He walked onto the Jets and became their all-time leading receiver of all time.
I tell you what, make me a wide receiver coach. You'll see drops not happen as much. Guarantee it.
I'm with you.
Listen,
Guarantee it.
You guys
Guarantee
can.
it. That's what I did. Did at the college level. Never had a drops problem.
Who am I looking up, Christian?
Oh no, I was just gonna say I have not played at the college level. I stopped right after senior year of high school. Played all 4 years. The fastest human being that I've seen with my 2 eyes. Which living in South Florida, we have immense talent coming out of South Florida every single year.
Yeah, hell yeah, you do.
Monarch High School, that was my school. Shout out to Monarch. We had Calvin Ridley on our team for 3 years. Love
Awesome.
Calvin. One of the fastest players I've ever seen. The fastest player I've ever seen was my junior year homecoming. We had Boynton Beach High come there, and quarterback was Lamar Jackson. So yeah. Wow. So yeah, fastest player I've ever seen in my entire life.
Love it. Next, we'll see you guys next Monday. Next Monday will not be a 2.5 hour show, but we did cover a lot of stuff. Thanks to Ryan Dunleavy. Make sure you guys are following him. He's got breaking some story tomorrow about the Cam Skattebo surgery. I did read you a tweet from him that he is healthy and on his way. So we're going to see you guys next week. Thanks for hanging in. Appreciate you guys. Remember, follow on the YouTube. Subscribe right now. You know what, Derek? Right now, Derek, since you were a pain in the ass today, but we appreciate you hanging around, Derek.
Subscribe.
Derek, I'm going to go right to YouTube and see if you're in there. Go to YouTube, Derek, and subscribe. Then go follow Sean and Christian on Instagram, all right? Because we're giving you a shout-out, Derek. Even though you're a pain in the ass, we appreciate you because we're just having some fun. We're glad we're here every single Monday at 7:30. Bang, we're out because I got to go eat and sleep because I'm old and broken.